I believe the attorney is here. It's your very first one, sir.
Okay,
That's this one right here on top. It's actually, I'm keeping it in order for you.
all right, good.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanensky, 19 East Fayette Street, representing the licensee. This would be an admission to the two incidents of persons dancing when they're not supposed to have live entertainment.
All right, the police officers here, Lieutenant Coburn is here, and your name, sir?
Officer Brown, sir.
Officer Brown is here. And you're admitting under Rule 4.18 and 4.18, two charges
That's correct, Your Honor.
that of dancing and what else?
That's it. They're dancing without having the right to have live entertainment.
All right, and you're accepting, give us, just read a quick recitation of the facts to support the guilty plea.
On April 26th, police officers observed 40 patrons dancing and providing live entertainment. Again, on July 26th, inspector observed individuals at the establishment when there was no live entertainment. I believe Mark Crossley is also here, sir.
That'd be correct, Your Honor.
All right,
And just in passing, it is a violation. I was trying to think of the one judge who years ago used to say, I look at it as like de minimis type thing, but it is a violation. Of all things that are happening in the city, people dancing, that can't be the worst thing in the world, but he understands that he's not supposed to be doing that.
all right, he also makes a comment in his report as to filthy laboratory, no towels, and somebody's going to notify the liquor board. What was that, ever happened to that?
We also sent those to the health department, and then since then, I believe that they've
It's been
corrected the
rectified.
issue.
It's been rectified, took care of it.
You rectifying. All right, you ready for sentence?
Yes.
All right, with respect to 418, the first one, $500 fine, all suspended but $250. The second one, $500 fine, all suspended but $250 plus costs.
Agree.
Agreed.
Pay it,
Total $625, sir.
pay it by next Friday? Okay.
You give 30 days to
Okay,
pay.
thank you very much.
The next admission to guilt, I'm going to skip around on the agenda, is item number 8, Dante Daniels, trade name Macios. This is at 1924 North Monroe Street.
Where am I?
Yeah, I'll pull you right up for you, sir. Here we go. This one right here, sir.
Which one?
This is your cover sheet right there.
Okay.
I believe the client, they have attorney, and I'll let the attorney enter in the play.
Yes, good afternoon, Candace Daniels, on behalf of the licensee Dante.
And how do you spell your last name, ma'am?
D-A-N-I-E-L-S, Your Honor. I did fax my address to have a copy if needed.
All right, and your position with respect to the charges of 4.01 cadet drinking underage.
There will be an admission to that.
All right, read the supporting facts, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. It's, that this is regarding a April 12th, 2014, an alcohol sold to a minor cadet.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor, just make a statement of mitigation when you're ready.
Ready.
Mr. Daniels has owned this property for almost 8 years. This is his first offense. Obviously, he takes it very seriously. He's retrained, disciplined, and retrained the employee who made the terrible mistake. We understand it's very serious. The employee's going to be taking alcohol awareness classes, and we've made the proper adjustments to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Are you ready for sentence? Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Officer? $500 fine, all suspended, $250 plus costs.
Thank you.
Just a minute, we have two more
Agree.
votes.
I agree.
All right, you have heard it, that is our decision.
Thank you.
So the total is 375? Yes. Is that right?
Yes, it's $375, 30 days to pay.
Thank you.
Call the next case.
Yes, sir. The next admission of guilt is for item number 14 on your agenda. This is Pokah Lee, Wolf Liquors. This is at 1642 North Wolf Street. This is a violation of 401A regarding an April 4th sales to minor. I will get that. What's that? Sir?
What's that number?
That's number 14 on your agenda, so it should be pretty far at the end.
All right, sir, enter your name for the
For
appearance.
the record, Gary Maslin, 75 Wade Easton Avenue, Maslin, Law Firm, on behalf of the licensee.
All
who's
right,
present
make sure
to
you're
my right.
talking to the mic. Maslan, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, and your position on this
This
charge?
is an admission.
All right, with respect to violation of Rule 4.01, cadet, police department, getting a drink underage, read the facts, please.
Yes, sir. On April 4th, 2014, alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet.
Any additions or
No
corrections?
disputes whatsoever. This was a sale made by my client's husband. He made an error in his observation, believed the cadet to be over 21. I've discussed this matter with my client. She's going to have, although she's TAM certified, she's going to have her husband go to and get TAM certified as well, and she has admonished him for his mistake.
All right,
They've had the
ready
light.
for sentence?
Yes.
$500 fine, all suspended, but $250 plus costs. How long do you need to pay it?
She'll pay it today.
All right.
All right, thank you.
All right, call the next case.
Next admission of guilt is Emery White and Darren Freeman, Northwood Lounge, LLC. That's the next item right after this, sir. This is a violation of Rule 401A, under sales to minors.
I don't believe I have it.
It's the one right after this one, so you're going right. That's Shamrock. Freddie Solomon, okay. Northwood, there you go.
Okay.
This is 1640, 1552 Havenwood, yes, ma'am, sorry. And again, do you want me to read what this chart, what the date this charge comes from?
Yep.
On April 11th, 2014, alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet.
All right, any attorney?
No, it's, they wanted to plead it themselves.
All right, what is your position with respect to this charge of an underage cadet having a drink at your bar against, in a violation of the liquor laws?
Just
Responsible or not responsible? Responsible. All right, you understand
Yes.
that the facts will be read into the evidence and accepted by us as evidence?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may read the facts.
Yes, sir. On April 4th, 2014, alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet at 1552 Havenwood Road, otherwise known as the Northwood Lounge.
All right, any additions or corrections?
Yes, we made a correction. She's no longer with us anymore.
She's no longer with you.
She was rushing, made a mistake.
All right, you ready for sentence?
Yes, yes.
$500 fine, all suspended, but $250 plus costs. How much time do you need to pay it? I couldn't hear
3
you.
to 5 days, so 5 days.
5 days, I'll give you 10 days.
10 days pay.
Okay, thank you. Next case.
Another admission is that is John Faulkner and Carolyn Martin, Jaffe's LLC, Jaffe's Package Good. This is at 1616 East Oliver Street. I think it's at the very end. It was right after the Northwood Lounge. And it's at, again, 1616 East Oliver Street.
All right, any appearance for?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Herman Lawrence on behalf of Mr. Faulkner. I was not able to get a appearance form over to the board. However, I'll certainly fax one.
All right, and your last name is spelled how?
Lawrence.
Okay, and your position today on these charges of drinking underage?
Certainly, Your Honor. My client respectfully intends to admit to the charge.
All right, I'll read the facts, please.
Yes, sir. This is at 1616 East Oliver Street on April 4th, 2014. Alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet.
Any additions
No
or
additions,
corrections?
corrections, Your
All
Honor.
right, yeah, I find you responsible for the charge. I'm ready for sentence. Do you have anything you wish to
Your Honor,
say?
briefly, I would like the board to know that John has owned this property for nearly a decade. This is his first infraction before the board of any consequence such as these matters. He does not intend to be back before this board in another capacity like this, and he apologizes to the city of Baltimore and to the young people who he dearly cares for.
All right, and with respect to the charge, a $500 fine, all suspended, but $250 and costs. How much time do you need to pay it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, you have it, 14 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, Commissioners, I've waited.
I agree. Mr. Jones, is that an agreement?
I'll tell you, we're going so fast.
It's going so fast.
Okay, so we gotta go all the way back to the top of the agenda then. I'm sorry to move you back. Okay, so the first one on the top of the agenda is Song Kil An, TA Avenue Liquors. This is at 1238 Fremont Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, liquor, a violation of 4.01A. No licensee shall sell or furnish alcohol beverages to anyone under 21 years of age, to a person's knowledge and purchasing of such acquiring such beverage for the consumption of any person under 21 years of age. This is regarding an April 4th, 2014 alcohol sale to a police cadet.
All right, swear the witnesses.
All those here to testify, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
Your name, sir?
Yeah.
Your
My name is Sang Kil-an.
And that's spelled, the last name is spelled A-H-N,
Yes, sir.
and you are the licensee.
Yes, sir.
And what's your plea with respect to the charge? You're
Uh,
responsible or not responsible?
I'm responsible.
Do you admit that the evidence that will be read into the record is the evidence in this case?
Yes.
All right, read the charge. Read the evidence.
This is again, a violation of 4.10A. On April 4th, 2014, alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet. I believe Detective Akwande is here if you have any other questions.
Did you have any additions or correction?
Yes. Thing is, one of my employees, she's 65 years old, the old lady, and I told her that anybody who look younger than 30 years old, do not to ask the ID, and she said yes. And sometimes customers, it's hard to identify whether she look young or old, and when she told me that the young man, she looked old, so she did not ask the ID. And so after she sold and she quit the job because she couldn't handle
It's hard to guess age.
hard to find age. So
Always been.
Hmm?
All right, but you admit the charge?
Yes,
I
sir.
find it responsible for the charge. The fine is $500 plus costs, all suspended, but $250. How much time do you need to pay the $250 plus costs?
yeah, I can pay today for the check.
Okay. Commissioners,
I agree.
I disagree.
disagree? Okay. You pay pay $250 plus costs. Over here.
Thank you.
Call the next case.
Yes, sir.
We disagree.
Because under age, I think it should
Bong
be a straight
Sung
five,
O,
no break
Ta
at all.
Kun O, Jason O. This is trade name B&J Liquors at 1801 Federal Street. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor.
Which one are you on?
This is number 3.
Number three.
Yes, you're right there. You
Okay.
got it. This is a violation of Rule 401A. No licensee shall sell and furnish alcoholic beverages to any person under 21 years of age or to any person with the knowledge of such purchasing and acquiring beverages for the consumption of a person under 21 years of age. In April 4, 2014, alcohol sold to an underage police cadet.
Swear the witnesses.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief?
I do.
I do.
And your name, ma'am?
Tae O. Tae.
T-A-E and O-H.
Yes,
Okay, and you are the licensee.
yes,
Is that right?
yes,
Do you speak English?
yes.
All right, and do you admit the charge or deny it?
I'm sorry.
Do you admit what you're here for or say it's not true? Do you understand me?
I think I understand, hopefully.
I'm not sure you do. Anybody here, what language do you speak?
Oh, I speak Korean. I speak Korean.
Anybody can give us any help with Korean? Your name, sir?
My name is Jay Cole.
Where the witness?
Sir, do you want to, as an interpreter?
As an interpreter.
Sir, do you swear or affirm that you correctly interpret from Korean to English and English to Korean all the questions and proceedings in this case?
I do.
Thank you.
The question is, do you admit this charge or you do deny it?
지금 이거 걸려서 오신 거잖아. 이거를 인정하느냐 안 하느냐.
Oh, I agree. Yes.
She agree.
She understands that the facts are going to be read into evidence.
지금 여기서 읽어준 거를 다 인정하냐고. 한다고요.
네.
I read the facts.
Okay. Detective Aquilande is here to make is for any questions, but this is regarding in April 4th, 2014, where alcohol was sold to a minor at her location, which is 1801 East Federal Street in Baltimore, Mass. In Baltimore, Maryland, excuse me.
Translate that. I know you
Sorry, wrong state.
didn't have much of a chance there, but can you do it, sir? Or you want me to have her break it up?
Can you say again?
Sure, yeah.
Just,
This happened on April 4th, 2014, where a cadet purchased alcohol.
I
Stop.
understand.
what is that?
Yes, I agree.
You
Understand.
do. And go ahead. Is anything else?
No, I just read her location address.
Or does she have anything further to say before we reach a verdict?
얘기할 거 있으시냐고.
Oh, well, after that happened, I put on the countertop underage. I have to make sure check the ID. Yeah, so I can see when I serve the customer better, not to that happen again. Yes,
Always careful. You always check the age.
yes, under 30, I will.
Yeah.
I do.
People like
After
me
that
are
happened.
complimented to death. All right, fine, you're responsible for the charge. Anything further?
더 이상 얘기할 거 있어.
All right, $500 fine, all suspended by $250. How much time, plus cause? How much time, and, in just a minute, how much, and 30 days to pay? Commissioners?
I agree.
Disagree.
All right, that is the fine. 500, all suspended by $250, 30 days to pay.
500% 되시고 250%는 30일.
Okay,
You understand that?
yes.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, next case.
Okay, this is Farlene Gillan and Fernando Pareda. This is for Euphoria Lounge. This is the case of the, where there's a recent infant that was born that they're asking for it to be postponed. Is that what the
Yeah.
request is, Mr.
And I talked
Kudensky?
to Lieutenant Colburn about it. In fact, I think he talked to the fellow on the phone. He had the wrong date, and he's at Franklin Square Hospital with his sister, who just delivered a baby.
Thus the 5 admissions and a baby. So,
So what is your position? First of all, enter your appearance,
For the record, Melvin J. Kudensky.
1301 Ponca Street.
and your,
Just asked for, to be postponed, to be rescheduled.
any objections?
Who's having, his wife?
His sister,
Sister?
is just delivering it now. Franklin Square.
Where's Lieutenant Colburn?
He's here. I just talked to him. He was actually talking to my client on the phone.
So,
he
yeah,
said-
he was here. He just walked outside. I have some other cases that I believe that Lieutenant Colburn will be here for the 18th, so I can reschedule
That would
for
be
the 18th,
perfect.
sir.
Then we have to do that baby.
No. Lieutenant Colburn, he's asking for a postponement. What was the new date be?
9/18.
What's your position? And who are you, sir? Officer what? And what's your position with respect to that? You're not.
Will the 25th work for anyone else for vacations?
I don't understand why your client's not here, really.
Well, he thought, oh, he just came in?
Oh, he's here.
Oh, he just
Good.
came in. Okay. Can you give me a
We
minute
can-
then to talk to him?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll move to the
All
next
right,
one.
that's great.
we'll take another case and come back to you.
Okay,
All right.
good. Jen Sikku, Chu, Soon Jan Chu, Chuli Liquors. This is at trade name Bond Street Food and Beverage. Is at 1641 North Bond Street. This is the Class A beer, wine, and liquor license. A violation of Rule 401A. No licensee shall furnish alcohol to any person under 21 years old, or to any person with the knowledge that such person is purchasing or acquiring beverages for the consumption only by a person under 21 years old. Regarding an April 4th, 2014, alcohol sold to an underage police cadet.
All right, swear the witnesses.
You swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury, the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
I do.
And your name, sir?
Jangisikchu.
And your first name is Jan,
Yes.
G, middle name SIK,
Yes.
and last name is CHU.
Yes.
And you're the licensee. And do you admit this charge or deny it? Want to proceed with evidence? Do you understand English?
I can read.
Hmm?
I can read. I'm not well.
I didn't hear what you said.
He understands a little.
Are you, wait a minute, sir. Are you an interpreter? Can you serve as interpreter? All right, swear the interpreter.
Sir, do you swear that you will correctly and accurately interpret from what language? Is it Korean? From Korean to English and English to Korean, all the proceedings before this panel? Thank you.
All right, let me ask the same question. Do you deny the charges or do you, and wish to have the evidence presented, or do you admit the charge? So what's his answer? I can't hear you, sir. Got to talk loud enough.
He admits the charges.
He admits the charge. All right, read the facts.
This again is on April 4th, 2014. Alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet at 1614 North Bond Street.
Now, stop.
Sergeant Gatto is here if you have any questions.
Okay. Did she go in too fast for you?
Not for me.
Okay, well, you got to tell them what she said.
April what was it?
April 4th.
April 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You understand that? All right, I find that he has admitted the charge. Are you ready for punishment, sentence? Got it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, $500 fine, all suspended, but $250 plus costs. How much time does he need to pay it?
Yeah. No, maybe.
편집이요?
Yeah. I don't read.
10 days. All right. Commissioners?
Agreed.
Disagree.
All right, you have received our decision.
And sir,
Thank you.
your name for the record?
All right, he's not ready yet for the next one then.
Okay. Okay, Quan Lee, okay, Soon Lee. This is for, Mare Liquors, trade name Federal Liquors. This is at 1537 North Washington Street. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor, violation of Rule 4.10A. No licensee shall furnish or sell alcoholic beverages to any person under 21 years of age, or to any person with the knowledge that such person is purchasing or requiring beverages for the consumption by any person under 21 years of age. April 4th, 2014, alcohol sold to an underage police cadet.
All right, just 1 minute. Do you understand English? Who's the licensee?
No English.
I'm just a little bit understand.
Hmm?
I'm just a little bit understand.
What'd she say?
She only has a little bit she understands.
All right, we need a volunteer again. Do you speak English, ma'am, sir?
No English.
Do we have a volunteer interpreter?
Actually, he's my accounting client.
All right, swear all the witnesses.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief? And for the interpreter, do you swear that you will correctly interpret from is it Korean?
Korean, English.
Korean into English, and English into Korean, the proceedings today?
Yes, I do.
And your name for the record, sir?
J-Ko, J-A-Y-K-O.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now, who is the licensee? You are, ma'am?
누가
I'm a
라이선스?
daughter. Yeah, license K-I-H.
Is his Kwang Oak?
No, it's my mother, Ki-Hyuk.
Kiho.
Ki, K-I-H-Y-U-C-K, K-W-O-N.
Yeah, it's his name.
Is his name. So who's the licensee here?
라이선스, 리콜 라이선스에 he's a licensee.
Ki Huak Kwan is a licensee.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we'll have to go over.
Okay.
Do you realize you're being charged with selling liquor to an underage person?
술을 나이 어린 사람한테 판 거를 인정하는
Do you admit this charge or deny it?
이 차지를 잘못했다고 하는 거를 인정하느냐 아니다고 반박하냐.
인정.
He agreed.
He what?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Accept charge.
All right. Read the facts, slowly so he can
Yes,
interpret.
sir. This is regarding an April 4th, 2014, sold alcohol to an underage police cadet at your location, which is 1537 North Washington Street.
4월 4일 날 나이 어린 커댓이 그 의사들 보낸 사람에게 좀한테 판 거.
All right. Any additions or corrections? Anything, do you want to say anything else about it?
더 뭐 얘기할 게 있냐고. 없어요.
No. Are you ready for sentence?
센텐스 그러니까 이제 저지하겠다. 오케이. 그래.
$500 fine, all suspended, but $250. And how much time does he need to pay it? And plus costs, how much time does he need to pay it?
500불하고 250불인데 그거 피하는데 얼마나 시간이 필요하냐. He'll pay by check right now.
How much time?
Right now he pay.
Now, today.
Yes.
All right, commissioners?
Agreed.
Disagree.
All right, you heard our charge. You heard our decision. Tell him that is the decision. He pays today, $250 plus costs.
By check.
By check.
Yes.
All right?
All right.
Tell him.
그렇지. 오늘 책으로 다 내신다는 건. 예. 오케이.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
All right, call the next. Are we back to, are we,
I believe, well, I'll just call the, do you want me to call the next under, because we have one more.
all right. No, but what about,
Are we ready to go back to Euphoria? No. You are? Okay.
ready on that one?
Yep, we'll go back to Euphoria.
Okay.
So this is Farling Galan, Fernando Correita, Euphoria Lounge.
I can't find my file
I'll
now.
go back. It's, I think it's the other direction. It might be in that pile right there. Let me get that for you. Oh, it's right there. It's on top. You got it right in front of you. Okay. Farling Galan and Fernando Correita, Euphoria Lounge, nightclub, LLC, trade name, Euphoria Restaurant and Club. This is at 1301 South Ponca Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Violation of 3.12, licensee shall operate with the establishment in a manner to avoid disturbing the peace, safety, quiet, general health, and welfare. August 9th, 2014, approximately 25 police responded to quell fights and disorderly crowd. This is again another violation of Rule 402. Violation, no licensee shall furnish alcohol beverage to anyone under the influence of narcotics who is disorderly in manner, and any person known to be a habitual drunkard or user of narcotic drugs. This again is on August 9th, 2014, where the police observed a patron who apparently was highly intoxicated.
For the record, again, Melvin J. Kadensky, there'll be admission as to 3.12. The other 4.02, I think, that would be, we'll hear some testimony, but I don't know if there's any testimony that there was any selling or furnishing to anybody, but I'll let the police handle that part.
Well,
of it.
let me advise you, though, that in no way am I committed, or perhaps the other commissioners, to whatever we've been doing with these underage drinking. You understand that
Well,
with
that's-
respect to punishment, if we so find.
Yeah, and I've talked to the lieutenant about it, and we've got some interesting information to give you in way of mitigation on this.
All right, swear all the witnesses.
Swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is truly correct, to the best of your knowledge, information, and
Your name for the records?
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, but this is lieutenant.
Lieutenant William Colburn.
How do you spell your last name, sir? All right, your name, sir?
Farling Galan?
And you are the GALAN,
Yes.
and you are the licensee.
Yes.
All right, present your case, sir. Present your case.
August 9, 2014, property,
Now, what date are we talking about? I can't hear you, sir.
August 9, 2014, at approximately 1:19 hours in the morning. I was in front of business conducting traffic, parking traffic initiative, where you park tickets because there were a lot of vehicles that were in the area that were illegally parked. Which time I observed a fight come out the front door. It was approximately 20 people were fighting. Okay, their security was pushing people out the door. At the time, me and two other officers were in the area. They responded to the area also. They dropped the fight ensued. They dropped the signal 13 in order to get more officers there. Which time at least 25 officers showed up from other districts. Also, Foxtrot, our helicopter, responded. We had to block off Ponca Street because of the crowd of people that were coming out the door. Well, we ended up actually arresting 4 people for being intoxicated and failure to obey and disorderly conduct. They were also fighting with the police also. We actually had a use of force, and one of the officers had to pepper spray somebody in order to keep from getting hurt.
You saw that?
Yes,
Well, everything you've said, you saw.
yes, sir.
Anything else?
So it took us a while to clear out the area. I think we finally cleared the area out somewhere around 2:30 in the morning.
All right, now with respect to the second charge, 402, which says a person was, observed several patrons who appeared to be highly intoxicated. Did these people come out of the bar that you're talking about?
Yes.
And tell us what you saw and what you
I
did.
saw a couple females that had come out of the bar that were actually being helped, that had fallen down, have been picked back up, and were helped carried to a vehicle, to get in a vehicle.
And who helped carry them?
With our friends.
All right. Lieutenant Colburn, do you wish to?
Just a few questions.
Sure, absolutely, cross. I was going to let you cross both of them at one time, but that's all right.
Okay. That's fine.
Whatever you want to do.
Well, I mean, just regarding the people that were coming out, you said when you first got there, the security was pushing some people out, would that be fair to say?
Yes.
All right, and then the ones that you saw that appeared to be intoxicated, you didn't see anybody sell or furnish them any beverages, is that correct?
No.
Okay, I have no further questions, just in.
All right, commissioners, questions?
I just have one. What is this Signal 13?
Signal 13 is when the officers in distress, they come across our radio. They'll drop a signal 13. It means the officer's in dire need.
I've heard of Officer Down. Is that the same
Basically,
thing?
same thing, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, Lieutenant Colburn?
I have nothing further to add about these violations. I did witness the similar things. I was one of the officers responding to Signal 13. Those of us responded, went from the rank of Deputy Police Commissioner down to officer. There were 2 majors there. It was a large event, a very disruptive event, not only to the Southeast District, but to the city as a whole, because units came from other places to respond. I will, however, say that it's uncharacteristic for this licensee to be any sort of problem to us as opposed to other licensees. This licensee is very cooperative. The day after this event, myself and the district commander from the Southeast District, Major Garrity, had a meeting with the licensee to discuss future large crowds that he may have so we can update the security plan to prevent having.
Well, why should the police department have to be furnishing security for him for his...
Not for us to furnish it, just to assist him in knowing how much security he needs for that size of crowd. Another possibility that we'd address with him, if it gets to the point where we continually have to close the street because of his crowds and where police are required to be there on a nightly basis, that's something that can be done on an overtime basis and paid for by the licensee.
The punishment, of course, is strictly up to this commission, but I wanted to ask you, you have said something that may have influenced me. When you say it's uncharacteristic of this licensee, you mean this has never happened before?
This is an isolated incident. This was an
Isolated.
isolated incident. On that night, he had a crowd of 378 patrons were in the bar. He had 5 security officers on that night.
What about this business about having drunk people come ahead, falling down, coming out? The licensee is responsible for the conduct of their customers.
Yes, sir.
What about that? Has this happened before? Is this the first time? Uncharacteristic? How does that fit into your picture?
It is uncharacteristic, sir. The establishment is growing in popularity. That's why we had a meeting with him. I think security that he had in place when he was routinely getting smaller crowds may not be sufficient now. So we met with him. He increased his security, I believe, since that time. It is now probably the most populated liquor establishment in the Southeast District. The Southeast Police District holds about 40% of the licenses in the city. There are 9 districts. We're one of the 9, but we have about 40% of the licenses. And it's now probably one of the 2 busiest, if not the busiest. So as he grows in popularity, he needs to update things and probably didn't quite update the security plan with the growth of the patrons. But this is the first time in, I want to estimate, a year to a year and a half that we've had any serious crowd issues at this establishment.
Questions, commissioners?
Do you know whether these officers, the security folks are off-duty officers or?
They are not. That's something that I've spoken to the licensee about incorporating in the future through our overtime unit, much as we have in other large establishments. And the officers would only work outside crowd control, parking enforcement, things like that. Off-duty Baltimore City police officers are prohibited by our policy from working inside any place that sells alcohol.
Any questions?
Was anybody arrested?
We have 4 arrests.
4 arrests as
Yes,
part
ma'am.
of this incident? And why was Foxtrot called? Do they just automatically respond to?
They automatically respond to Signal 13.
Is there a cost associated with a response by Foxtrot that can be assigned to this
That I
incident?
couldn't tell you.
The cost really is more not so much financial as it is resources. Other neighborhoods throughout the city are not being patrolled when those officers have to respond elsewhere.
So Foxtrot responded, and it sounds like about 25 police officers responded. And how long was all of that staff, for lack of a better word, at that location?
The incident started at 119, 120 hours. We finally cleared up this street. I think we opened Ponca Street up approximately 3 a.m. We had pretty much a crowd out there by 2:30. By the time we got all of our resources cleared out and all, it was approximately 3 a.m.
So almost 2 hours.
Yes.
To get the situation.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Colburn, the area that this is located is really strictly a commercial area. It's not residential anywhere close to there. Make fair to say?
The disruption to the public peace in this instance wouldn't necessarily be into people's homes so much as disrupting traffic patterns, things
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's
You have to block off the
pretty much a
streets.
commercial area. The Rural Farm Store across the street and the other businesses there were pretty much closed around that time.
There are 2 Royal Farm stores, one at either corner,
Mhm.
at the opposite end of each block, that may have been affected. The businesses directly across the street are all closed at
Yeah.
time of night.
And it is indicated that you felt that this has not been a problem licensing, and he did reach out to you about, getting a new plan, a security plan and so forth. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And along with this, other than this establishment, the closest establishment that would be to this would be the Ponca Bird?
Poncaberg and Night Shift would be
Yeah. Well, the night shift is closed. I think the ladies are on vacation. But Ponca Bird would be the closest one. Okay.
All right, anything else, Commissioners? Nothing? All right, with respect to both 3.12 and 4.
Could I make an argument as
Sure.
to the 4 There was no testimony here that the police officer, and that's why I asked him specifically, that the licensee or any of his employees sold or furnished anything to any individual. So we can't do the quantum leap. The charges that the licensee must sell or furnish, that was quite specific in asking that question. They have no evidence. They may have been intoxicated. We don't know where they got it from or, whether reason why they were being asked to leave or so forth. So I don't think that rule would apply. As to the other rule, we're admitting as to that. They've done everything they could possibly do to remedy this situation. So that's why I put that forth.
Well, with respect to the one you're talking about, 4.02, first of all, the bar owner is responsible for the conduct of his customers. And secondly, this is a civil proceeding, and there's more than sufficient evidence to draw the reasonable conclusion that these people, based upon what the bar owner should have done, is he should have refused them entrance immediately because of their condition, if they were in that condition when they came in. The fact that they came out of that place in that condition indicates that he did not do that. Therefore, I easily, with no problem whatsoever, find him responsible for both charges. Now, with respect to punishment, anything else?
Nothing else other than,
Your
mitigation.
client indicates he wants to say something.
Okay, you can, if you want to say.
Well, sometimes you.
Step up, state your name and address for the record, else they won't.
Franwin Galan, 7105 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. I've been a licensee there I had my business there for about a year and a half. And incidents do happen. We try as much to prevent them. And the reason why sometimes security is a little bit lower because we don't have a problematic crowd. That day, in a year and a half, that's my first incident. And I tried as much to control it. And sometimes you let
You
people.
mean you never had any idea that this was going to happen?
I mean, the possibility.
Why didn't you close when you
I
saw
did
it
close.
happening? I mean,
I
close
did.
ahead of time.
As soon as the incident happened where the people were escorted out, because sometimes you let people in your bar, you don't realize they're drunk until they're actually in there. And the bartender refused to sell them. That's when they get irritated. That's when if we escort them out, we had a fight. we escort people out, but we tried as much as we can to control it. But
Yes, but you're
we're
in
not
a
a
position with
problematic
a
crowd.
license. Your job as a license is to control your license and your business. It's your responsibility. And here you failed miserably. Actually closed down, police-wise, for enforcement, a good part of the city. However, in view of I'm going to modify to some extent my decision. Ready for decision with respect to 3.12 and 4.02. Close your bar for the next weekend coming up, and this fine is $1,000. Commissioners,
I agree.
Agreed.
you have our decision.
So that's,
So it's the fine plus the $125 administrative fee?
And plus administrative fee, of course, always.
Oh,
All right, thank you, officers. All right, call the next case.
yes, sir. Now we're back to, now,
Chairman, how long for him to pay for the fine?
How much time does he need?
So I have a huge concert this
I
Sunday.
can't hear him. What's he say?
I have a huge event this Sunday, which I have a deposit for.
30 days. 30 days to pay.
I don't think he had, with the suspension, when that goes to effect.
This coming Sunday, you have an event coming up?
Yes, I have proof of everything. It's September 7th.
All right, then if the commissioners don't have any objection, I'll make it the 14th, the weekend of the 14th. Commissioners?
That's good.
Well, they want to be closed anyhow because that's Pittsburgh's in town. It's horrible. You're going to get so
Any
many
objection?
cases.
Well, maybe we should close him when it's gonna have an impact.
With Pittsburgh, it will have an impact.
What's your position?
Hold on, you're saying that it'll be closed anyway?
No.
Okay.
He's joking.
Oh, okay. I agree.
All right, close the 14th.
It's not a Pittsburgh thing, right? No, you don't have to tell them.
With the cameras rolling, I have no comment.
Close the 14th,
Ray
30
in
days
town.
to pay, and $1,000 fine. Okay, we're all in agreement.
okay.
Next.
We're going back to Kwang Lee and OK Lee. This is T&H Liquors, Lowell Liquors.
Let me whisper.
Oh, I missed it.
His humor, not mine.
Okay.
I'm sorry, which number was that?
This is number 9. You're welcome. Number 9, Kwang Lee, OK Soon Lee, and this is T&H Liquors, trade name Lowell Liquors, is at 3201 A and B Woodland Avenue. This is a Class A2 beer, wine, and liquor, a violation of Rule 4.10A. No licensee shall sell or furnish alcoholic beverages to anyone under 21 years of age, to any person with the knowledge of such purchasing and of or acquiring beverages for the consumption of anyone under 21 years of age. This is regarding a February 7th, 2014 alcohol sold to an underage cadet.
Swear the witnesses.
You swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true, correct, to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
I do.
And your names, please?
And then Taylor?
And your last name is spelled L-E-E?
Yes,
And do both of you speak English?
I do. Very minimal. I'm just here to, as translate. for my
You will be
father.
also a translator.
Yes.
You're
for my
not the
father.
licensee, but you are the licensee.
No, my father's a licensee. I'm here to translate on his behalf.
Okay. I swear him as a translator.
Sir, do you swear that you will correctly and accurately interpret
This it?
English to Korean, Korean to
And
English?
it's another letter that we just
for,
received as well.
This commission?
Yes, I do.
All right. Now here, your officers, identify yourself.
Detective Bill C. Greenhill, SCS Vice.
All right, and directing your attention to, first of all, 4.01A. Did you have occasion to go to 3201 A and B Woodland Avenue with respect to being on business?
Yes, sir.
And what, if anything, unusual occurred?
On that date, at 21:45 hours at 9:45 p.m., myself and members of Vice conducted an underage alcohol investigation at Lowell Liquors at 3201 Woodland Avenue. Utilizing Baltimore City Police Cadet Gregory L. McCoy III with a date of birth of 21 September of 1993, same entered the location and purchased a 375 milliliter of Southern Comfort whiskey from employee Kwang E. Lee, who was working behind the counter of the establishment. Cadet McCoy paid for the alcohol that was priced at $9.80 using the departmental $20 bill and received change. Cadet McCoy then left the establishment with the purchased alcohol in hand. At no time did employee Mr. Lee ask Cadet McCoy for proof of age. Furthermore, your writer, along with members of Vice, observed Cadet McCoy enter Lowell Liquors located at 3201 Woodland Avenue with nothing in his hands. And Cadet McCoy was observed by detectives exit the establishment with the purchased alcohol, which was now in his hands. Moments later, members of Vice entered the location of 3201 Woodland Avenue, known as Lowell Liquors, and advised Mr. Quangy Lee that he had just sold alcohol to Cadet McCoy, who was under the age of 21. As your writer attempted to recover the departmental money, Mr. Lee tried to give your writer a counterfeit $20 bill he had lying
Now,
near
this
the
is with
register.
respect to violation of Rule .302. Is that correct? That's the fake bill charge.
The fake bill, yes.
Okay, now you're testifying to that. All right, now let this translator catch up with you.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir. With respect to the selling to a person under 21 years of age, translate that to him.
여기서 이제 첫 번째 거에는 21 years underage 팔았다는 거 인정한다는 거. He understands.
He understands that?
Yeah.
All right, now we're on the second charge of the fake bill. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, as stated, Mr. Lee tried to give your writer a counterfeit $20 bill he had lying near his register. When a departmental $20 bill, when Mr. Lee opened his register, the departmental $20 bill was not in the register.
Okay, stop. Tell him.
이거 가짜 20불짜리 줬다고 이거. 아니 지금 먼저 이쪽에서 먼저 말하는 거. 가짜가 아니고. 알아. Okay. He understands what's stated.
All right, go ahead, sir.
So far.
Complete your testimony.
Your writer asked Mr. Lee where was the departmental $20 bill, showing him a photocopy of the bill that was in my possession. Mr. Lee started removing money in $20 bill denominations from his pants pocket. Eventually, Mr. Lee removed the departmental $20 bill that was used in this investigation from his pocket. Your writer was able to recover the departmental $20 bill and return the change back to Mr. Lee.
All right, stop. Yes, go ahead, sir. Tell him what he
Oh,
just said.
explain what he just said?
Tell him what the officer just testified to.
이제 거기서 먼저 가짜를 20짜리 줬다는데 주머니에서 이제 그거 가짜라고 주머니에서 아빠 다 돈 끝나서 이제 거기서 20짜리 사진 보여주고 20짜리 거기서 진짜 거기서 찾았다고.
가짜가 아니고
알아.
He understands?
Yes, he
All
understands.
right, sir. Any other testimony?
Cadet McCoy was photographed with the purchase of alcoholic beverage. The alcohol was then returned back to the establishment. At that time, the investigation was concluded, and the establishment was returned back to control of Mr. Lee.
All right, does he have any questions of the officer?
No, not right now, but he does have his.
He wants to make us, we'll allow him to testify, but questions?
No questions.
All right, commissioners, any questions?
No.
No.
All right, officer,
Good afternoon, sir.
and you are the underage cadet?
Yes, sir. I'm underage cadet Gregory McCoy, sir.
Okay, so your testimony is that you would confirm everything the officer said?
Yes, sir.
All right, any questions? These are-
No.
None. Commissioners?
No.
All right. Now, with respect to his testimony, be glad to hear from him.
With the first one, the 4.01 or the 3.02?
Let's take 3.02.
Okay, 3.02. Basically, it's common practice for him for any
Now let him
denominations.
testify, sir.
아빠 먼저
Can't have
말해야
the interpreter
I
testify.
already spoke with him before, that's why.
I understand.
아까 먼저 말하고 나서 내가 다시 영어로.
그 전에 이제 카스터마 물건 주는 데를 푸시고 캐시타에서 돈을 잊어버렸단 말이에요. 그러니까
And don't go too far ahead. Now let him chance. Tell
Okay.
us.
He's saying his current practice of business in terms of putting the money in his pocket, any denomination bigger than 20, is because of we've had many thefts before in the prior to keep it there in the drawer. So, and then he's going to continue.
올 때 every $20는 파켓 넣고 했는데 이제 이 사람이 왔을 때 그 돈인 줄 알고 꺼내줬는데 다른 돈이 됐다 이 말이야.
And then he has no idea where the counterfeit part came from because all those bills were taken to the bank the next day anyways, and they were all accepted. But his common practice is to take the $20 bills and then put it in his pocket. And when he came in and asked for the $20 bill, he just grabbed the first one out of his pocket, not knowing it was a departmental bill. And then later, when he said that's not the correct bill,
나중에 다시 다 전부 다 있는 거 꺼내갖고 찾아서 줬다.
and then he said, he showed me the drawing, and then we looked through, he took out everything, and then we looked through and found the actual departmental bill.
All right. Any questions, Commissioners?
No
No.
questions.
Well, does he have any other place he places 20s other than his pocket?
No, any denominations.
I want you to ask him.
아빠 다른 데다가 20짜리 돈 받고 나서 이건 돈 받고 20짜리보다 더 큰 거랑 다 딴 데도 있는 주머니밖에 없지.
주로 주머니에서만 꺼내.
Yes, just his pockets.
No
Unless
other
it's, unless
place
it's
for 20.
closing, then he has other places. But unless it's closing time, and then he's about to put that into.
So
a
he
safe.
doesn't have any idea where he got that 20?
No,
Well, you got to ask him.
no. 그거 가짜 20짜리 어디서 받았는지 아니에요.
가짜 돈이 아니지. 내 그거는
He says it's not a fake
그
$20
전에
bill that
가짜가
he gave
들어와서
him.
이 캐시다에 하나 붙여놓은 게 있었지. 저 그걸 준 건 아니지.
He
그건
says
폴리스가 어떻게 가짜 돈을 가져가? 그건 말도 안 돼.
Okay, he says he never gave the cadet a fake $20 bill, counterfeit, but whatever $20 was in his pocket. The only fake $20 bill that he has is the one that he has on top of a like placard on the wall, so to remind him not to accept these type of bills.
He has such a thing on his wall?
On the wall, yes. Well, on like a shelf, of, like a little bracket of the wall.
For him to
Yeah,
see?
for him to see.
Any questions, Commissioners?
Detect, go ahead.
The fake 20, the counterfeit 20 that you just described, where does he keep that?
It's like it's taped to the wall, the fake one that he keeps. So you can see as an example right next to the there's like a UV ray light that shows the UV rays, and then he has a pen there too, so just to check.
So it's taped to the wall,
Yes.
it's not in glass, it's
No.
not framed, it's something that he could reach out and touch and pull off the wall if he needed to?
Physically, yes, he could.
Okay. Because that is the.
If he wanted to, yes.
Okay, because that's consistent with the testimony that's in the report, that there was a fake 20 that he reached and got that from a counter and
But in
handed
the
that to the
report,
police officer.
in the report it says he pulled that from the
항시 돈을
pocket and
받을
then
때
gave that to the cadet, which was
가짜
not.
이제 체크하기 위해서 그보다 일부러 경각심을 갖기 위해서.
He says he keeps that on the wall to remind him not to, and then check everything.
Does he understand that there is testimony that the fake 20 did not come from his pocket, but from another place? Does he understand that?
Was that in there?
I don't,
Could
I
get
know, let me hear from the police officer. Where did the 20 come from?
From my recollection, the 20 was laying near the register. And when I go in my investigations to retrieve the 20, I always have the photocopy of the 20 that we use. I tell the operators, I need this 20 back. He then just quickly picked up an unrecognized bill. It was an unrecognized note to me, and I assumed I took it to be a counterfeit and tried to hand it. I didn't accept it. And I said that's not the bill that was.
You said
given
that
to
right
you.
away?
Yeah,
You said
well,
that
I
right.
said that. I said that's not the bill. So then he started going in his pockets and then pulling out 20s, and that's when we identified our actual $20 bill. But the note,
So in the pocket was your bill,
yes, in his pocket.
but the bill he handed you was on the register,
it was near the register.
near the register.
So he actually handed you the bill?
He, as I came in and held it up, he quickly took the he had it. It was in arm's reach where he had it, and he gave it to me. I said that's not the bill. I didn't accept it. I said that's not the bill that was used. I said I need this $20 bill back.
Did you know that the one he gave you, that was it actually a counterfeit $20 bill?
It didn't, from my recollection, it didn't look like an actual U.S. currency note. It was faded. It looked to me it looked like Monopoly money.
Just for my satisfaction, did you examine the bill and conclude
I
that?
didn't examine it. I just a quick glance.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, any other questions of the commissioners or anybody else?
None.
No.
All right, any final statement, anything
No.
else you wish to say? Nothing else? With respect to violation of Rule 4.01A, my decision is $500 plus cost for the selling to a minor underage. How much time does he need to, well, I'll go on to the next one. With respect to 3.02, I find a much more serious charge, $1,500 fine. And how much time does he need to pay the total of $2,000 in fines plus costs?
On item number, violation 2.02, I find not guilty. I concur with 4.01.
I agree with the commissioner, the chairman, guilty as to 4.01A and guilty as to 3.02, and I agree with the penalty proposed.
All right, sir, how much time does he need to pay it?
What's the total amount?
$2,000 plus costs.
$2,125. 21.
Did you understand that?
2,000
$125.
2,100. 이게 이거 가짜 거는 1,500불이라고 이거는 500불. He's saying he's never he's still contesting to the fake bill, but
틀린 돈이 나온 거지 가짜 돈이.
He has a right to appeal within 30 days.
okay.
Not here, Circuit Court of Baltimore City.
Okay, how do we do that? Is there
But he'll have, I'm not practicing law
Okay.
for him.
okay. 2,125불. 얼마 시간 필요해?
Which one is this? This one?
He said a minimum of a month.
1 month, 30 days. Is that enough?
괜찮아요? 한 달은? 2달 줘? 한 달 줘?
We're going to give him the time he needs, we just need to know it.
얼마큼 필요한 시간 준대. 2달, 한 달, 3달?
만들 시간은
어. 한 달, 2달, 3달.
Quickly, sir.
빨리 하래.
500불씩 3번, 4번 내야 되나?
He wants to know if it could be paid off in installments, or does it have to be all at once?
Yeah, you have to pay it all at once,
한 번에
but,
다 내야 된대.
but if we can give you as much time as he
근데
needs,
시간을
within
계속
reason.
줄 수 있는데 한 번에 다 내야 된대. 2 months?
60 days, right. All right. Call the next case.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm on the right one. Cha Soon Kim, Yang Hu Yo. This is BWK Inc. This is trade name Shamrock Liquors, 4300 Bel Air Road, a Class A beer, wine, and liquor. Violation of Rule 4.10A. No licensee shall sell or furnish alcoholic beverages to anyone under 21 years of age with the knowledge that said person is acquiring or purchasing for the consumption by any person under 21 years of age. This is regarding an April 11th, 2014 case, alcohol sold to an underage police cadet.
All right. First of all, swear all the witnesses, including a translator, is that right?
Yes.
You swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief, and, yes, and then,
I do.
and then for the interpreter, do you
Korean.
swear or affirm you will correctly interpret from Korean to English and English to Korean proceedings in this matter?
All right, please enter your appearance. Your name, sir.
My name is Jake. I'm here for interpret my friend's statement.
All right, and his name is?
My name is Cha Song Kim.
That's C-H-A.
Yes.
S-Y-O-N-G and K-I-M.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you're the licensee in a tavern on the 11th of April, 2014, that's accused of selling to an underage person.
Yes.
All right, so what is his position on his charge? Does he admit the charge or does he deny it?
길하게 인정하냐 아니라고.
인정.
Yes, guilty.
Does he has any objection to the evidence being read into the evidence by my executive
좀 전에
secretary?
읽은 게 그 4월 18일에 그날 대해서 얘기한 거에 대해서 반박하게 얘기한 거.
No.
I read the supporting.
He looks old, over 30. I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. This. Yeah.
He thought he was over 30s. That was his mistake.
I'm checking all of them, but.
Oh, now you're checking everybody.
Yeah, I'm mistaken.
Okay. All right, read the facts.
Again, this is April 11th, 2014. Alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet at 4300 Bel Air Road, Shamrock Liquors.
All right, and does he admit or deny those facts?
4월 11일 날 여기 사람이 들어와가지고 언더에이지 한 걸 네가 인정하냐 안 하냐.
Yes.
All right, fine, the charges are sustained. The penalty is, any questions, commissioners? The penalty is $500 plus cost, all suspended except $250 plus cost. How much time does he need to pay him?
얼마나 필요하실까?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
14 days to pay. All right, commissioners vote.
Yes.
Nay.
All right, sir, you have our decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, call the next case.
Yes, sir. Okay. This is Betty Solomon, TA Lorraine's Lounge. This is at 1000 East Hoffman Street. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, liquor. Violation of Rule 401A, no licensee shall sell or furnish alcoholic beverages to anyone under 21 years of age, regarding April 4th, 2014.
All right, Betty Solomon. Anybody here for Betty Solomon?
Betty is not here.
Okay. I'll enter a not guilty verdict on behalf of Betty Solomon. Call for the swear of the witnesses.
Swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
Yes, I do.
And state your name for the record, sir.
Detective Abraham Gatto,
And how do you spell your last name?
Gatto.
And we'll hear from you with respect to this charge.
All right. On the 14th of April 2014, 2200 hours, myself and other members of the SES Vice Unit conducted a underage alcohol purchase from Lorraine's Lounge located at 1000 East Hoffman Street. We utilized Cadet McCoy here. He went into the location. He asked for a Bacardi Gold drink from the employee who went by the name of George Curry. Cadet McCoy paid for said drink with the cost of $8.36. Mr. George Curry accepted the departmental $20 bill and returned change to Cadet McCoy along with the bottle of Bacardi Gold. Cadet McCoy notified members of our SES Vice Unit that he had received the alcohol. At no time did Mr. Curry ask for any type of identification from Cadet McCoy. We then entered the location and ID'd Mr. Curry. We advised him that he just had sold alcohol to a person under the age of 21. Cadet McCoy was photographed at the location holding the beverage that he purchased. Sergeant Leiser recovered the $20 bill that we had previously photocopied, and the drink was left at the location with the establishment. It was left at the establishment, and the establishment was left in control of the night manager.
All right.
All events occurred.
Any questions, Commissioner?
No questions.
All right, and you have here Cadet McCoy.
Yes, sir.
Come forth, sir, and tell us if those facts are true and correct and what happened.
Yes, sir. On April 14, 2000.
On that date, you
2014.
did purchase and receive alcohol at 1000 East Hoffman Street.
Yes, sir.
All right. Questions, Commissioner? None? All right, I find in talking to our executive secretary that service was okay at this address.
Yes, sir. It was received and signed for on August 18th, 2014 at approximately 12:30 p.m.
All right, I'm ready for sentences. With respect to 4.01, $500 fine plus cost, and 30 days to pay.
What was the fine?
500.
I agree.
All right. Call the next case.
Kimberly Wilkins, Tina Wilkins, New Bucket Lounge. This is at 1432 North Chester Street. This is a BD7. Beer, wine, and liquor license. Violation of 401A. No licensee shall sell or furnish beverages to anyone under 21 years old with the consumption of a person.
Which one do you have?
This is Kimberly Wilkinson.
I don't seem to have that one.
Okay.
Number 21, your sheets.
You don't have it either? Oh, I'm the only one that doesn't have it. Let me see if I've got something
It
that's stuck
might
here.
be stuck in yours.
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay.
Here it is, East Federal Street?
North Chester, 1432 North Chester.
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
right there.
got North Chester, you got it.
Okay. And so this is a violation of Rule 4.10A. No licensee shall sell or furnish alcoholic beverages to any person under 21 years of old age or to any person with the knowledge of the person purchasing or requiring such beverage because consumption to anyone under 21 years of age. This is regarding April 4th, 2014, where alcohol was sold to a police cadet.
All right, anybody here for the lounge, 1432 North Chester Street, service?
This licensee, interesting. We got everything else but the service in this one. Well, here it is, wait, sorry. Before. I don't have a copy of the service. I have the charges, but I do not have a copy of the service.
Do you need more time to look?
Yes, can I move forward to another
Yeah, I'll
one?
give you more time to look. Let me say to everybody that with the Executive Secretary, I've inaugurated new procedures with respect to the reporting service, including a book showing non-ESTR service completed, and also with respect to computer information to make sure that these records are clear, easy to find, and present. So for the future. Go ahead. Call the next case.
Okay. There. Okay, the next case is June Bin Bach, Wook Hoo So, W&S Sun Liquors. This is trade name Sun Liquors at 2331 Federal Street. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license, a violation of Rule 4.01A. No licensee shall furnish or sell alcoholic beverages to anyone under 21 years of age with the knowledge that such person is purchasing or acquiring such beverages for the consumption of someone underage. Again, this is on April 4th, 2014. Alcohol was sold to an underage cadet.
Your name, sir?
My name, first name W-O-N, middle name K, last name S-T-U-H.
And you are the licensee?
Yes, sir.
Okay, W-O-K. And you speak English?
Half and half. But I think I saw the call system.
We don't have any more assistants here. We'll run out of interpreters. Are you going to be able to?
That's a good help for that.
He's handing me a written note to whom it may concern. He admits it was his mistake, and he says it was accidental. And he goes on with a long explanation, which I'm going to turn over to the other commissioners without reading it into the record. His father informed him he was not able to provide a lawyer because he knows for a fact that what he did was a mistake. Didn't have the money to get a lawyer, and is not going to do this again. Continue to check customers' ID, and now even more strictly than before. He's asking only one chance to consider his plea. I'll turn this over to fellow commissioners. You already have. Whoops, excuse me. Turn it. All right, so you admit your responsibility.
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
I understand.
All right, read the facts into the record. Briefly.
Oh, I'm sorry. This was, this occurred on April 4th, 2014, and alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet at Sun Liquors, which is 2331 East Federal Street.
What happened?
Alcohol was sold to an underage police cadet. That's what I've been reading to the other ones, but the type of alcohol that was sold.
Well, was the person underage?
Yes, it's the police cadet right here, Daniel, Mr. McCoy was sold alcohol, and he was not asked for identification.
All right. All right. That's what they're saying you did. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All right. A find he was responsible for ready for sentence. Commissioners have any questions?
No questions.
With respect to the charge of 4.01A, responsibility is found, and the fine is $500 plus costs, all suspended except $250 and costs. And how much time do you need to pay it?
Could you give me a 30 day?
30 days to cost. Commissioners?
Disagree.
I agree, Chairman.
Okay. You understand you
Yes,
got to
sir.
pay $250 plus costs, and you have 30 days.
Yeah, $750 total.
250 plus costs.
Yes,
So
seven,
$375,
all
$375 total,
Total.
total?
30,
Oh,
30 days.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But you may go.
Sure, well, wait over here, the young lady will be with you in a minute.
Oh, thank you very
All
much.
right. Call the next case.
Yes, sir.
You haven't got your
The
service.
service issue, so it's, the next case is going to be Sherry Shobar, which is George Zenegas. Sherry Shobar, this is trade name Sherry Shobar, 3821-23. 23 Pulaski Highway. This is a BD7, beer, wine, and liquor, a violation of Rule 4.17. A, no licensee shall permit or suffer their premises to be used for the purposes of any sexual activity, nor shall any permit or suffer an employer, patron, or frequenter to solicit a person for prostitution or immoral purposes. Read December 11th, 2013. A dancer solicited a police officer for the offer of sexual intercourse.
Your name, sir?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Howard Carden. I do represent Mr. Zaganis. This is John Zaganis. Mr. George Zaganis is actually recuperating from hip surgery.
All right, so here today for the licensee is George.
That is correct.
Okay. And nice seeing you again, Mr. Carden. Haven't seen you for a while.
It's been a while, Your Honor. It's nice to see you.
But you're just as young as ever,
Well, so are you.
now that we've got past that.
Yeah, right. That was-
All right. All right, swear all the witnesses.
Swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury, testimony you're about to give is true and correct, to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
I do.
All right, officer, just give us your name for the record and your testimony.
Detective Abraham Gatto.
And directing your attention to December 11th, 2013, you went to Sherry's Bar at 3821 Pulaski Highway, and what, if anything, occurred?
Yes, sir. At the time, myself and Detective Akawande entered Sherry Soap Bar, which is a strip club located at 3821 Pulaski Highway. Myself and Detective Akawande entered this establishment in an undercover capacity. I was under the assumed name of Joseph Zasa, and he used the name of Omar. I do not know the last name that he used that day. While in this location, Detective Akawande and I sat at the bar, had drinks. We watched the various dancers dancing for a while. There came a time where I rented a back room for $70 for the event of a lap dance. And Chairman Ward, some of the things I'm going to say here are explicit. Is that okay?
Sure.
While back there, I was with a female who had a stage name of Mimi. She gave me a lap dance for between 15 to 30 minutes. While she was back there, she told me her government name. She advised me her name was Amira Bell. When she was done dancing, I started talking to her about what she's doing when she gets off work tonight. She said, well, pretty much anything. I advised her that I was interested in having sex. She immediately said, what's in it for her? I went on to say, well, look, I have a friend of mine that came with me. He's at the bar right now while I'm back here with you. And I'm wanting to fuck tonight, and the only way we can get that is if the same happens for him. So she said that she would, for intercourse with both of us, she's asking for $100 each for each of us. At the time, I advised her that I would be back around 2 a.m. when she gets off work. She told me she'd be waiting in the parking lot. At this time, I left the private room. I returned back to the bar, finished some drinks. Detective Akawande and I left the location around 23:55, which would be 11:55 p.m. I advised my sergeant, Sergeant Chris Leisher, and Detective Jones, Detective Greenhill, of Miss Amira Bell, aka Mimi, of her description and her current clothing that she was wearing was a neon green bra and light blue panties. She was formally identified by our SES Vice Unit, which would be Sergeant Leisher, Detective Jones, and Detective Greenhill. The information was forwarded to me. I actually applied for a criminal summons and charging document on Miss Amira Bell, which was signed and put into the system. And all events occurred in Baltimore City, state of Maryland.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
You didn't arrest that night. Nothing else occurred.
No, sir. No, we
You
don't.
didn't meet her at 2 o'clock.
No, merely the exchange of the denomination or the uttering of this is what I want makes me my case.
Objection.
Sustained. It's for me to decide. But that's what happened.
Yes, sir.
Okay, questions?
Thank you. As indicated, you did nothing that night as far as arrest or notification of anyone. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. You obtained a summons for her on January the 6th. Is that correct?
What I have here is a copy of the summons. I have it dated for the 11th of when things occurred, but the stamp as to what time this was, let's see, they're written in black and white here. Okay, Maryland Loan Service. 1/6/2014.
Okay. And that case, in that case, you filled out a statement of charges. Is that correct?
That's what I spoke up here.
All right, and the statement of charges had along with it a statement of probable cause, correct?
Yes.
All right, and that statement of probable cause was identical to the report that you prepared. I'm looking to see. On December it says December 11th at 23:40 hours. Is that correct? That is the report that's right to your right, when you're right, where your right hand is.
You're asking for my police report or the statement of charges?
Well, the statement of charges is
Yes.
identical to the police report. Is that correct?
Everything should be identical.
Okay. And did you at any time notify anyone at Sherry's about these events?
Of course not.
You didn't notify them that night?
No.
Okay. And of course, they wouldn't have learned about it until they received a notice from the liquor board. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. That case that you filed against Amira Bell, using the same statement of charge or the same probable cause as contained in your statement here, was now processed by the state on the 14th of July. Isn't that correct?
I'm unaware. I wasn't never notified for court.
Okay. May I, and I'm a little bit, I haven't tried a case here in quite a while, so I don't want to be out of line.
Go
but
ahead,
I
just
have
tell
an
us.
exhibit that I would like.
Is that what happened?
Okay. And you are familiar with the printout of this case? At least I'm showing it to you now. Is that correct?
This looks like a copy of something from Maryland Judiciary.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And I would direct your attention to the disposition, July 14th, 2014, NALPROS.
Okay.
May I submit it, by the way?
All right, Exhibit 1. Go ahead, sir.
So it was you that initiated the conversation about meeting later that night or the next morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it was you that said to her that you were interested in having sex with her after she got off work. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And the $100 a person came up only after you said that it had to be both you and your friend. Isn't that correct?
That was her asking price.
You said to her that if it was to go down, that you and your friend had to have intercourse or fuck her. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And that's when she then said $100 apiece. Isn't that right?
Which was her asking price.
I have no other questions. Thank you.
All right, commissioners, questions?
No.
All right, that completes your evidence.
Yes, sir.
All right, defense.
I'd like to call Mr. Zaganis for a moment. Would you identify yourself, please?
John Zaganis.
Okay. And what is your relationship to George Zaganis?
He's my uncle.
All right. And with regard to Sherry Shobar, are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay. With regard to this individual who has been identified as Amira Bell, is she working there now?
No.
Has she, can you tell the commissioners what knowledge you have of her? Let's put it that way.
She had worked for us, I'm going to guess here, 2-3 years ago in the past. She came in this particular day or the day before, asked for a job. The bartender that was there did not know her like I know her, and she was granted the job. She worked 1 or 2 nights, one of them being the incident with the policeman here, and never returned again.
And you've anticipated the next question. Has she come back since then?
No.
Did you know about this at the time?
No, I
When
didn't.
did you first learn about this incident?
When the liquor board inspector came down and brought the notification sometime in March.
As far as coming back, as using that word, or her employment, was that her decision not coming back or your decision?
Well, she'll never work there again.
So you never had the opportunity to terminate her, let's put it that way, is that correct?
Right.
Now, recently, has any member of her family come to you?
Yes.
And would you please explain?
Last weekend, her daughter came in looking for a job. I don't personally know the daughter. The bartender there does know the daughter as being Mimi's daughter, and we told her she will never be employed at Sherry's either.
So she was not hired?
No.
I have no other questions.
All right, commissioners?
I don't have any questions.
Any questions?
No.
All right, any other evidence?
No.
All right. Mitigation or defense?
Well, first,
Whatever.
I want to suggest and say to this panel, to the commissioners, that taking everything at best as the officer testified to, there was no solicitation by her. She was solicited by the officer. And I know Your Honor is well familiar with the law, but I did bring the law as to solicitation and
Yeah,
what
but
it takes.
we have to deal with all the facts here, starting with the rental of the room for $70 and the lap dancing.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Setting up the atmosphere of what leads next, in which they rented the back room, and then when she gets off, the conversation in the room about meeting.
Initiated by the officer.
Initiated by the officer, and meeting in the parking lot, and her asking what's in it for her. That's her exact language that he testified to. And he said he wanted to fuck for him too. She said $100 each. And then they agreed to meet at 2 a.m. That's the facts, isn't it?
Well, that's the fact, except that he said he would be back at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
They didn't agree to meet at 2 p.m. She said, well, actually, part that didn't come out, she said she gets off at work at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And he said
I
he
think
would
he
be
said
back.
that. I think he said that, yeah. And they agreed to meet, though.
Now,
No?
see, again, your Honor is using, they agreed to meet. She said, and this is why I'm trying to say that the officer doing his job, and I'm not saying he's not doing his job, but I think that there comes a time when we transfer the onus from the licensee over to the police department or the investigator. He goes in to make a case. He goes in, everything is fine. He orders, he goes into the back room, everything is fine. Nothing happens at that point. So what's he do? He goes on to the next step. I want to meet you afterwards, after work. Not here, after work. And then she is enticed. Do you want me to use the word entrapped? No, I'm not going to use the word entrapped, but she's certainly enticed.
Well, I
And
think,
that he has to keep going on.
well, I have it written down what he said, be back at 2 o'clock. I
Right.
don't understand what your point is there.
She said that she gets off of work at 2, and he says, I'll be back at 2.
That's what he said.
Yes, that's correct.
What does that mean?
Well,
It's pretty
she's
clear,
not
isn't it?
agreeing to anything. Was she there at 2?
Oh, come on.
Was she looking for him?
Okay, well, go ahead, make your.
I am suggesting that the criminal act that is referred to is an act that was created by the officer, that she was the one solicited. And that's the reason why I suggest to this court, or to your Honor.
Let me
and to
see
the
your law.
Well, here is the actual instruction for solicitation.
And of course, there's no question that who does the solicitation. That's what it all boils down to. Now, I'm going to read it out loud. The defendant's charged with the crime of solicitation. Criminal solicitation, an effort to persuade another person to commit a crime. In order to convict the defendant of the solicitation, the state must prove, 1, that the defendant urged, advised, induced, encouraged, requested, either any of these things, that's me, commanded another person to commit, in this case, sexual intercourse. And at that time, the defendant made an oral or written efforts to persuade another person to commit sexual intercourse. The defendant interested that the sexual intercourse be committed. Now, the crime of solicitation is in the asking. It is not necessary that the that the crime actually be committed.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And that is, and she, and I'm not defending her at this point, but obviously the case was dismissed against her.
Well, but how about the words, are you interested in sex? What's in it for me?
No, I think the words were, I told her I was interested in sex, and she says, what's in it for me?
Yeah, well, okay.
That's it.
No,
I don't think there's a whole lot of dispute
Right there,
as to
what's
the
in it,
facts.
what's in it for me? Action words.
Well, as I said,
Right?
Your Honor, I'm not defending her, but I'm talking about a licensee.
Yeah, but
then-
what she does, of course, affects the licensee, because
Well-
licensees are responsible for the conduct not only of their customers, but their employees.
And I'll accept that, and that's why I am saying that she was the one that was enticed, induced, whatever, to respond the way she did.
Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
All right, I have no problem in finding that the charge is proved. And now it's a question of punishment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask just?
Before we vote, I want to hear, with respect to punishment, did you have a
I
question?
just had a question. How old is it
Mimi?
Amira Bell?
Amira?
How old do you believe she is?
I think if I look on the,
Well, on the charging sheet,
Yeah.
she was born in 1992. We could make her, I think, 22. Right. How old was the daughter that came in and asked for a
And
job?
that was the daughter.
then this is the daughter?
So this charging sheet for a null process for the daughter,
Must be,
the
because,
daughter is 22.
yes.
So this is of no consequence to us. This doesn't mean anything to us.
Well, this is the person that was there that night.
Right.
So, this is, if you look, you'll see the event
So
was.
it's Amira Bell, who
Amira Bell,
is 22 years old,
yes.
and that's your former employee.
That was the one that's been there a couple of,
The way it was explained to me, like I say, we didn't know anything about it until 3 months later. So we did have a Mimi there, and it does have a daughter. Evidently, this was the daughter the whole time. The mother never was actually working there. This is the daughter that came in, which would make it the first time she's ever worked there.
I'm totally confused. So who came in asked for employment later in
The same person now that I
it would
know,
have to have
or
been the
eight.
same person.
It was the same person.
Understand, Mr. Zaganis himself was not there doing any of this, so.
So it's Amira Bell.
Well, we didn't, I couldn't even look into it until 3 months later when I got the paperwork to see what had happened.
So, 22-year-old Miss Bell is there on December the 11th, and she is the one who apparently came back to be hired 2 weeks ago and was not hired. And as of the story was relayed to Mr. John Zaganis, he was under the impression it was the mother.
She used the same name as the mother.
So the mother
It's got
Never
nothing to do
was,
with-
never was there. She's not involved in this at all.
She's
is not involved.
Right.
That's what we're
It's the daughter
It's the daughter.
Well, but
who was involved, and it's the daughter who's the subject of the charging document.
Well, that's according to them. The facts to me are clear as to, and I believe Detective Gatto in his testimony, and I don't have any problem with it at all. I don't, whatever he says about a daughter coming in's got nothing to do with this
Well, I
case.
didn't think so, especially, it's pretty confusing.
So it's not confusing to me, to be honest with you.
Could I make one comment?
You have to talk to your
Yeah,
counsel.
well, go ahead, sure. This is,
The only thing I wanted to say is, reference to the back room keeps being made. There is no back rooms in Sherry's. There's a room, as soon as you walk in the main entrance of the bar, and right next to it, there's a door that's open. There's no door there. It's a doorway with a wall like this that you can see through, and a pole in there, and it's a lap dance room, which is open for everyone to see. So there's, it just sounds to me like everybody's mentioning a sneaky little back room somewhere where
Well,
things go on. That's
It really doesn't have much to do with my finding of guilt or innocence. And I use the word guilt because this is actually a civil proceeding. Responsibility is a better word. And I've already, the only thing I need to do is hear from Mr. Carden with respect to punishment, and then I'm going to have the commissioners see what they think of what I'm going to do.
absolutely. Well, I think since the last time I was here, I think was about 15 years ago, and it was probably for Sherry's. So I don't think there's been anything, am I right or wrong on that?
Well, when we were growing up, Mr. Carden, you and I probably as young men went to Sherry's.
Judge, not only that, I tried a murder case that took place right next door in that,
Sherry's is still in the same location, I believe.
So-
Way out in East Baltimore, yeah.
Last offense was in 2002.
2002, all right.
Okay, so yes, more than.
So I said 15, so it's 12.
12.
Judge and I, 12 years, 15 years, same thing. And I just want to say, and the reason why we brought up the mother and legitimately thought that's what it was, is to show that that family is not wanted nor permitted on the premises. And he's working carefully to make sure. And
Sins of
again,
the mother and
see,
visited upon the
yeah.
daughter.
I mean, we don't want to cast that spur.
Well, Sherry's has been a strip bar as far back as you and I can remember. Maybe 40, 50 years, I don't know.
I can remember that, yes.
Okay.
Now he's
I
insulted.
mean, that's all I can tell you. And they, I think, they're trying to do the right thing.
We have enough financial problems and things without getting ourselves mixed up with this type of thing.
Well, how are you doing in business? That's what I thought Mr. Carden was going to tell me.
I mean, business is slow. It's a bad economy, and like you said, we're not close to the hotels and that type of thing.
You're way out in the
And
East
we're-
End.
We're out there, and it's not easy. And the last thing in the world I need is this, we don't put up with any of this kind of stuff.
But you know, the people you hire, you've got to be extra careful. First of all, the police department's going to be paying you an occasional visit
I understand that. I do.
because you are sheriffs. You've been in business for 40, 50 years that I know of, maybe longer, 60 years. And so you're going to get that type of exposure. Of course, you're way before your family acquired this business was going on there. So first of all, you have to be extra careful who you hire. And the people who do this are inevitably mothers and daughters and members of families that are broken or have problems that go to this type of business to live. And so you have to be extra careful. That's why it doesn't make any difference to me at all who, whether it's a mother, the daughter, or so forth. It's not important. I know that it's that's Elmira Bell. Apparently, that's what he said that he charged her with, and her name was Mimi. I wrote it down somewhere. I can't remember where I wrote it. And that was the person he was dealing with, and that he was sure of who it was and who he had to contact with. I, however, am persuaded that because of your lack of success, and I don't doubt that at all, that there's punishment instead of closing you, because that's what I would do if I thought you were participating in this. I'm going to just fine you, and therefore I find you responsible for the charge of 4.17A. The fine is $1,000. How much time do you need to pay it?
A week.
Oh,
Commissioners.
I'm sorry, what was that fine? Sorry.
Wait a minute. Commissioners.
First time offense, 1,000.
First time offense.
I agree.
Got one more vote.
In lieu of a suspension, I agree.
All right, 10 days to pay. All right, sirs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here I am writing it down on the wrong place.
Suspension would have been better, though, Judge.
Still running to West Virginia?
Yes, I am. Good seeing you, Howard.
Good to see you.
So Chairman,
Make it hard for me. It make it hard for me. You go.
Huh?
I was in the impression that we can only go 500 for first offense, but we can suspend. But when you do 1,000,
Well, when she's got to tell me, what's the...
yeah, that was what I was looking up for you.
Howard, wait a minute. We're checking our docket to see whether my fine is...
500 on a first offense. What I will do is if our maximum is 500.
No, just look it up now.
Let me check it. Hold on.
I'm not familiar with these.
500. And then, there's no minimum. Right. Yeah, I know. I always got to look up this portion. I believe it is 500, and then it's,
Gotta know.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to get to it, sorry.
Why don't you give the book to Howard and let him look it up?
Yeah, I'll let you look it up, Howard. Here you go.
Thank you.
And we'll take the next case and we'll come back to you after.
Section 16. Thank you.
Go ahead, call the next one.
That was the, the service is incomplete. The inspector said that he did serve it, but he did not put it in the file. So I have to say that the service is incomplete on that case.
Oh, and this is Kimberly?
On Kimberly, yes, and so we'll have to.
Where are the
reserve it.
parties? Where?
They never showed up.
Nobody's here.
No. Well, the police is here. The police are
All
here.
right, officers, where are you? You're here on the case of Kimberly Wilkins and Tina Wilkins.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And we have a bad service, maybe, but in doubt. And we've got to get this.
Yes, sir. We have from our standpoint, we did all the other things, so we will make sure.
All right, and give me the date, reset, and I want to ask the officer about that date.
For the 18th, if it's a reset, it's okay. The reset for the 18th.
18th of September?
Yes, sir.
Okay, officer says okay. All right, case
And we'll put it at
postponed.
the top of the agenda.
18th of September. All right, case is yours.
Thank you.
16507.
16507, I will.
Yep. It's down here.
Okay.
500.
Yes. For the first offense, in not more than 500, or suspend the license, or both.
Okay, 500. in view of the code. 10 days to pay, everything else the same.
That'll be done. Thank you. I'm giving you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, this is yours. You have yours, Michael. Thank you.
So 625,
All right, go ahead.
And that's it.
What about Kimberly Wilkins?
We will bring it back that was the one that you were gonna bring back then, the 18th.
What did I just say here? I just gave it to you.
You gave it to me.
I have two.
You have two.
I thought we had another one here. We said
Nope,
it.
that was it. You took care of all of the other ones.
Okay.
We're
What about
adjourned.
this? What about this one?
That's where you asked for additional information. That way they know not
We're gonna
to-
adjourn to the judge. said
We're
we
adjourned.
Yeah, but what is,
This is the.
we're adjourned, but I still want to know.
This is the Goodfellas law. This is Goodfellas, remember, Mr. Sullivan? And you asked me to provide you a copy of the information. I see you in the night, I found you. I see you separate from the others. Been crooked in the light around you.
I'll work this out.
Yeah, here's, if I can submit to the board, this is the agreement.
Mhm.
You can make that part of the.
Why'd you bend it in half? It's a whole page is the
Well,
agreement.
the other one there, it says, was in my note on there, said if you have worked out an agreement with Laura Bell and Jody Landers, have it in writing, get it to me, so there's no,
No addition.
privilege in that.
Yeah, okay. Is that right? And you state your names for the records, please.
Jody Landers representing the Laurville Improvement Association.
And you're with?
The Laurville Improvement
And
Association.
you're with?
Oh, I'm sorry. Eric Nichols.
Laurville Improvement Association.
Clifton Pleasure Club.
All right, so we would adopt this as our order. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. No, we'll do it. Are my fellow commissioners in agreement?
Sure.
This is the one that's been hanging
Always a
around, as
pleasure
you
to
know,
see y'all
waiting
work
for them
things
to
out.
work it out.
This is, I think, from our day one.
Yes.
You and I, our first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, I want to thank you, the Liquor Board, and thank this organization for working with us and hammering out an agreement. I think it worked to everyone's advantage.
Good, I hope we can do it.
Thank you so much.
I hope we can do it all the
Good luck
time.
to you
Thank you.
guys.
All right, call the next case.
The next one is a transfer. This is Sanjay Shah, Charles Utterrider at Kosha Inc. This is trade name Mall Spirits at 6630 Reisterstown Road. This is a Class A beer, wine, liquor, an application for transfer of ownership.
No, that's for,
Calypso Cafe.
Yes.
Once again, for the record, Melvin J. Knapp, representing the applicant in this case. It's an application to transfer an existing license in Reisterstown Mall called Mall Spirits. There'll be no changes, no additions or anything out of the normal. Mr. Shah has taken the alcohol awareness course. He plans on operating the place, be a full-time operator. He'll obey the rules and regulations of the Liquor Board and be the full-time operator. You want to state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Sanjay.
Yeah, speak up, because they're not going to.
Yeah, Sanjay Shah, 3006 Louis Lane, Hayward Grace, Maryland.
now spell your name, sir,
Sanjay, Sanjay,
and S-H-A-H.
SHAS, last
Okay.
name.
And Mr. Melvin, Mr. Kalinsky, is he with you?
It's Gary Maslin. He's a counselor at
All
large.
right. And I understand there's no opposition. Is that
No
correct?
opposition, and the city resident is a city employee. His granddaughter's being operated on today. He's been on licenses, and there's been no problems with this location.
Fellow commissioners, any questions?
None.
I move then that, to grant the, I vote to grant the application to transfer ownership.
I agree.
You've got your decision. Call the next case.
The next item? The next item is Michael Gebru and Charles Armwood, Dock Liquors, Inc., Dock Liquors, 1501 Fulton Avenue. This is a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license, application for transfer of ownership.
All right, give your names, please.
For the record, Melvin J. Kanansky representing the applicants.
My name is Charles Armwood.
Got to speak up, because
Charles Armwood, Jr.
Armwood.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
step up here and give me that.
My name is Mikhail Gabru.
And you are G-H-E-B-R-U.
Right.
All right.
Dr. Marvin Cheatham, President, Matthew A. Henson, Neighborhood Association.
Anybody else with you? Okay. All right, I have here a transfer ownership of 1501 Fulton Avenue, license subject to a secured note, unpaid. Opposition on that ground. Be glad to hear from you.
Well, it's a transfer of an existing location. The party has a secured interest on it, which would be paid. They couldn't transfer out the license, but once we get the settlement, Mr. Armwood has been in touch with, I think it's Mr. Salderi on there. Mr. Armwood lives a couple doors from this location. He's been there 30-something years, and he is going to help Mr. Gabriel run the establishment. He has letters of support from
The Neighborhood Association.
Did you see these? There's a letter of support. No, wait a second. You want to look at these?
Yes.
You got another one? That's it.
This one you're going to have problems with. I got the letter from the president. This person is not the president.
Just wait, you can't.
Okay, Mr. Kudinski, where are we?
All right, we'll submit what we have, one from Rise and Shine Daycare Incorporated.
And
It's
what
down
is
the
this
street in favor of the transfer.
Mark it as Exhibit 1.
These are a letter from Martin Heather.
And who's that?
She's with, was it Fulton Community Association?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark it
And-
Exhibit 2, pass that down to,
And these are basically the same, there's a series of emails from the same group.
all right, Exhibit 3, pass that down. Okay.
There'll be no changes in the operation. It's been there probably 40, 50 years on Fulton Avenue.
All right, Mr. Cheatham, any questions for them?
No questions, just opposition.
All right, I'd be glad to hear from you.
May I bring my poster up?
Certainly, bring whoever you want up.
Hey, thank you.
Did you want everyone to be sworn?
Huh?
Did you want
I
to?
will.
Okay.
All right, swear the witness, please.
All those here to testify, please raise your right hand.
Mr. Cheatham? I can't give right hand.
You swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury, the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
Let me just, I'll just take that picture. You on the other side.
That shows something.
on the same team.
We want to present 9 exhibits. This happens to be one. We have a smaller copy to give to the board and the commission.
Okay, what's
What
it
we
say?
have-
What's the point of it?
The point of it is that our neighborhood is inundated with liquor stores. Probably the only area other than Fells Point that isn't as commercial or residential as we are in the entire city of Baltimore may be the Greenmount neighborhood. We actually have 15 liquor stores within our area.
Tell us again, you told us before in other cases, but tell us where your neighborhood is.
Matthew A. Henson Neighborhood Association is a 50-block radius neighborhood association. Our eastern boundary is McKean, which is right adjacent to Fulton. That's the eastern boundary. The southern boundary is Pressman Street. The western boundary is Ruxton Avenue. The northern boundary is the south side of West North Avenue.
Will you go all the way up to the park?
Yes,
Gwynns Falls Park I'm talking about.
that's correct. We'll give you a copy.
So everything from the park all the way down
All the way
to
down.
Preston Street.
That's correct.
That's a huge, that's almost
It's
West
huge.
Baltimore.
It's very huge. We have over 1,000 houses, businesses, and churches in our radius. Can't even guesstimate the number of actual people. Honorable Thomas Ward, Chairman, Commissioner Jones, and Commissioner Moore, we thank you first for this opportunity. I'm Dr. Marvin Cheatham, President of the Matthew Henson Neighborhood Association. I humbly hope that I can present on behalf of our community and adjoining neighborhoods our opposition for the transfer. Put emphasis on the transfer. We come crying out saying enough is enough. We've had far too much crime, far too much violence, and far too many deaths due to homicide directly related to alcohol establishments. We first hope to convince you that a significant number of residents, homeowners, and renters alike in our community vehemently oppose this transfer and any transfer or additions of liquor establishments in our area. In an effort to save time, we've submitted all 9 of our exhibits. There are actually 10 today because Delegate Sean Tarrant emailed us his letter of support for the Neighborhood Association in opposition to the transfer. We received that this morning, so his isn't listed as an attachment. It's the first document that you actually have. Exhibit 1, we
The
submit
40th district goes all the way out there?
to the 40th, yes. Matter of fact, the majority of the, about all of our neighborhood is in the 40th. All of our neighborhood is in the 40th district.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Of course.
I'm sure that my fellow commissioners want to know why you're opposed to a transfer. It's not a new license.
Well, we know for certain that the
Unless you
store
have
has
some
been.
knowledge of the persons who are buying this license.
We have no knowledge, no history of him. The store, in fact, has been closed since this posting was done. We have not seen it open, even though we trust that the owner, who we know, has indicated he has opened periodically to at least adhere to your guidelines. But neighbors have said consistently, the liquor store is actually closed. We are so inundated with liquor stores, any opportunity that we have before us to make certain that we don't get another one there will enhance our neighborhood from our vantage point.
Mr. Cheatham, let me say that
Yes,
in this case, I would agree that that we both all know that a liquor license is a privilege, not a right. And but nevertheless, if a person's in business has already been given the opportunity to perform, and there's no evidence of any improper performance, to use a backdoor approach to get rid of the license seems a little unusual.
We would concur. It would seem a bit unusual, but the fact that we have so many is unusual as well. To have 15 liquor stores directly related to a neighborhood association, it is unusual that you can find any other neighborhood in the entire city of Baltimore that can say that is residential, not commercial. We know the owner, would love to sit down and chat with him. We don't know the history of this new owner. We do know that the overwhelming majority of our liquor store operators have no relationship with our community. They merely make money. Last week we were here hearing of one liquor store owner selling to a minor. You have another case coming later today, liquor store in our neighborhood selling to a minor. That's normal in our neighborhood. All we need is the police to keep sending in the cadets. You will find the overwhelming majority have no relationship and are doing harm to our neighborhood. Our crime.
Yeah, but you see, we're dealing today with 1501 Fulton Avenue.
1501 Fulton. What we would
have
like
no
to
evidence
ask,
of that
yeah,
here.
what we would like to ask be done here, as we said, we don't know the owner, nor has the current owner have come to our neighborhood association, which are numerous. There's not just one. We know Ms. Robb quite well, the president of her neighborhood association, but there are 4 other neighborhoods connected to that area. We would like to ask that we talk with the owner, so we get to know who this individual is and get some commitment that they will help our neighborhood and not just make money from our neighborhood and sell to our children. It is clear in evidence after evidence, reports that we have in the document, that it's poor neighborhoods, it is black neighborhoods that are inundated with liquor stores. And we're saying at some point, we're asking and praying that this board will begin to see that certain neighborhoods are harmed more than others. Ours is evidence we're one of those.
I don't think it's a question that some neighborhoods are harmed more than others. But I tell you, one thing that we are about to do is that, first of all, we're going to increase our nighttime staff of inspectors rather than having just minimal, because that is where most of the trouble is. Secondly, we're going to begin to soon have reports based on what is going on and how many times these different places are looked at from our inspectors. Recently, of all the complaints that we had, we only had 1 from our inspectors. None. All the rest of them are from the police department. We're looking into these things. And we've, as you already know, I've already set up a private line for anyone to call in and report a liquor dispenser of some sort of improper conduct or the way they operate, trash or whatever it is. where the person who calls in is, the identity is kept secret. And the inspector is simply told what it is to go out and look at it. The board is doing what it can, and I recognize your complaint, but I think the problem is that these bars exist, and you just can't wipe them out.
This is what we would ask, and we don't disagree. We totally concur, with your position here. What we are asking in this particular case, that they be asked to come meet with the overall communities. There are two other community letters here, one from Alcatraz Terrace, the other one from Robert Coleman. I'm Matthew Henson, one of the largest communities. We're asking that this be postponed, that we sit down and discuss with them what our concerns are, and then we come back with an agreement. We know we can get an agreement. We know this gentleman here. He has a long history here. We don't know this other gentleman, and he may be a great guy, but we don't know him, and he needs to know our concerns. I don't think anyone of the liquor board can report what we know is happening. 18% of all the homicides in Baltimore City were in the Western District. We're the Western District. And we're saying, if you look at other communities, they don't have the numbers that we have. So what is the difference between our community getting 18% of all the homicides last year in Baltimore and other communities? It's the liquor stores. We're inundated with them. Report after report, and you see document after document showing clearly that liquor stores are directly related to crime and violence in neighborhoods. Neighbors can't complain that this business owner did it. We know this business owner wouldn't do something like this. Wouldn't sell to people if he knew they would do some harm. But it is clear because of 15 liquor stores in one neighborhood, that's just ours. It's not the other neighborhoods, it's just our neighborhood, that it has a negative effect. We would like to meet with them privately, come back here in a week or 2 weeks with an agreement. We know we can come up with an agreement, but we need to let this new owner know what effect his liquor stores and other ones have in our community.
Let me ask you, have you ever run for public office?
I didn't. I didn't do too well. I'm a civil rights leader, sir. I've headed up 3 of this nation's civil rights groups here in Baltimore. I did Southern Christian Leadership Conference. I left them. I took the NAACP, the #1 branch in the nation. I left them. I even served Reverend Sharpton for his group. I'm a civil rights person, not a politician. I try to help people.
Okay. Your questions?
I've always wanted to call you Reverend Doctor.
I would take it.
Wait.
Well said today.
God bless you.
I don't have any questions, just that we have a response, that's all.
All right. What's your response?
The response is that even the letters that are submitted here indicating that the one from Robert Coleman is that they have sufficient establishment, which this is there. It's been there for 40, 50 years. This gentleman's been there for 30 years. He lives at 1504, which is 2 doors down. He's going to be there. I have no problem if they want to invite them, but this application has been pending for a long time, and to come at the last minute, and we have a time-sensitive situation due to the letter from the secured party to go ahead and go forward and have the transfer. I don't have a problem if the board would, agree to do the transfer, and they could set a meeting up and meet with him. He could give the concerns. As you indicated, Mr. Chairman, the license is a privilege, so if it's granted and they mess up, they'll be back here with him. And Mr. Armwood's not going to lose, man's buying the property and everything else, which you don't see many people want to buy both the property and, the business. So he's willing to go ahead and do that.
That's his lawyer. I can talk.
Have you been sworn?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I grew up.
And your name, for the record?
Charles Armwood Jr. I grew up in the Gilmore Project. And if y'all know Father James, I get emotional because I work with him and everything. I got awards and everything. I'm sorry.
You gotta lean back.
Oh, and I get emotional when I talk about Father James because there's nobody that know more than
Wait a minute. Hold up. You okay?
Nobody did no more in the community with him than him. And I worked with him. I grew up in his church. Worked with him every day. And I donated my life to that community. I used to work there in the 70s.
Now, wait a minute, sir. We got to get back on course
and I
here.
went to college. I came back and bought it. I've been there.
Wait a minute. Mr. Kudinski, we got to get back on course here.
I didn't let him testify. You let him testify. I understand.
I love that community. I don't know about nobody. I had offers to buy that community.
Are you willing to meet with him?
I'm willing to meet with anybody because my credentials in that
Yes or no?
There's no fault.
Okay. Jeff, sir, you?
You will.
All right, I think. Questions to commissioners, if any?
Well, just simply want to repeat what was said and just highlight that if it doesn't do what he says he's going to do, if we do allow the transfer, there's a process you can utilize bring him back before the board again. But I would suggest that you take very strong notes and be able to identify all your concerns clearly and not have to trust it to your mind. Just go straight and read from your record, facts.
Can I respond to that?
Not just now, but
Go ahead.
could you, but this is basically for the hearing audience. I just want you to understand that if this thing does go through, you are held accountable. You're not going to just be making money.
Question?
I'm wondering if Larry Jennings is here? He has sent in a letter, a strong letter, objecting to the transfer, and even has language of cease and desist. And I'd like to know how that impacts the work or the decisions that we're supposed to make, because it's a very strong letter. He has reasons for the objection to the transfer. He doesn't seem to be here. It would be helpful if he were here. But I think with the cease and desist language, I don't see how this goes forward.
But there is no cease and desist order. And if it's for monies owed, they have to be paid if it's a secure party. In the UCC, we can't transfer. That's the reason why the reason why there's some urgency, because he's got to go to settlement to give him the money to pay him off.
You'd like to say something?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm well.
I know Larry and his father, Mr. Jennings, quite well, and I met with them 2 weeks ago. He didn't know anything about the hearing, and we did meet and had lunch together. Me and Larry Jennings met and ate, and I told Larry, because I was, like I said, I know him personally, I was a little mad because the way this came down. Because all he had to do was reach out and call me, and I said, Mr. Jennings and Larry, you're well. And I told him at the settlement, he'd write the letter, as the check, he'll get his check, and everything would be taken care of.
Is there a relationship between you and the purchaser?
No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I apologize. I mean, I wanted to sell for a long time, but I wanted the right person to sell for that community. And I've been dealing with him about.
But the question of Mr. Jennings, you know, is very.
Well, wait a second. No, that's not my question. I was asking if he was, he's doing fine
I've been
without
talking
you.
to him off and on for about 8 months to make sure that he was fit my criteria for somebody in that community. And I could have sold it to anybody, but this is who I chose to sell it to. That I think will fit that community where I grew up in. And I'm going to be right there helping him as long as if you notice my name's still going to be on the license.
Answer the question about Mr. Jennings' letter.
You think?
Yeah. If you could answer the question, then I'll be done.
Yeah, I believe that the letter that's in the file, a secured creditor did ask to have that information added, as the licensee is saying, is that they will take care of this application, the condition of the transfer. So yes, but this information was added because of Mr. Jennings coming in and asking for that information to be included in the file. But as part of this transfer, I understand that it will be taken care of. Okay. All right.
All right, I'm ready for vote. Are you ready? All right, vote.
Someone rest.
Yes.
The concern that I would register here is a lot of discussions, but not with the community. And that's a concern that we have, even with the new owner. It would be appropriate to have the pending owner come and speak with the current owner about what they are intending to do in our particular community. We can only respond when we see postings. That's how we are able to communicate, because these owners don't come to us. They depend upon us seeing the posting and then coming down here as quickly as we can to actually state our position. We think it's only appropriate. He's indicated he really doesn't know this owner. He's only known him for 8 months. We think it's appropriate. Let us, the three groups, sit down, the current owner, the pending owner, and the community, and work out our concerns and our differences, rather than force this back onto the community that we got to sit here and spend money and time, take off from work, so we can basically clean up what we have as a problem. 15 liquor stores is still the problem. At some point, we need to not keep allowing these liquor stores in certain communities. We're being harmed by this. 18% of the homicides in our district.
Mr. Cheatham, you expressed all that before. And this is a transfer, not a renewal of the license. All right, I'm ready for vote. I vote yes.
I vote no.
Where are you?
My vote would be yes only if you meet with the community first. And that's the only way I'm going to get this out. You have to meet with the community first and have them map out any agreement that they're going to have. And
My question is, especially when it comes to an agreement.
Yeah, that's a illegal,
then
that's an illegal result. Yeah, that's equivalent to a no, if that's what you want. But you can't have a conditional vote. It's because we're up here for a decision.
And I say no.
All right,
That's
then
easy.
the no is it.
You gotta go to the community first for if you want me to vote positive towards you.
All right, call the next case.
Sun Young Park and Juanita Sewell, Henry Inc., Schuster's Liquors. This is at 1231-33 West Baltimore. It's the transfer of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license.
Good morning, Your Honor,
Morning.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
And you are,
David Wu, representing the applicants.
and how do you spell your last name?
WOO.
And you're the Esquire.
Yes,
Okay, I'd be glad to hear from you.
yes. Ms. Sun Young Park and and Juanita Sewell, two applicants, will be operating under corporate name Hyunree Inc., HYUNREE Inc. Ms. Park has extensive retail experience, and she is ready to move forward. And Juanita Sewell is the current licensee, and she will be remaining as a licensee and
She's going to
as a
stay on the
corporate.
license.
Yes, and she will still be a corporate officer.
Any opposition?
I haven't heard anybody, and we did meet with one of the community leaders last week. His name is Mr. Devin Davison. I have his phone number and email address, which I'll submit to you briefly, and they discussed briefly, and they're going to meet again to discuss how they can cooperate with each other to better operate their liquor store, cooperating with the community people, and so they can continue to do well there.
Does Ms. Soul want to say anything?
No, she has no other things to say.
All right, questions, Commissioners?
No questions.
Questions?
No, no.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, I vote yes.
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 All right, sir, you have it.
Thank you. I'll just submit this letter of summary.
All right, mark it Exhibit
Thank you.
1. Call the next case.
Okay. Charles Heiss and Stephen Thornton, Katie Moxley, Nando's of Harbor East LLC, trade names Nando's Peri Peri. This is at 1100 Fleet Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license under the provision of Article 2B, 6-201, D7, $500,000 in capital investment, restaurant fixtures, facilities, seating capacity of maximum 75 people, and outdoor table requests.
Good morning. Leanne Schreckengoss with Royston Muller, McLean, and Reed here on behalf of the applicants.
And how do you spell your last name?
SCHRECENGOST.
Esquire.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'd be glad to hear from you. Present your case.
As indicated, this is an application for a new license at 1100 Fleet Street, which is a new building that's being erected. There's a hotel going in there and several restaurants at Harbor East.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Certainly.
You know, it's easy to put down on paper, you have $500,000 in new and capital investment.
Yes,
I mean, I can write a letter and say that in 5 seconds.
correct.
What have you done that equals $500,000?
Did you receive our capital investment breakdown? There was a
Yes,
one.
I think I did.
Okay. That, we will have
Tell us for the
document.
record.
Certainly. We will have documentation, proof of payment for all of this at the completion of,
You don't have it?
No, I don't have
Wait a minute.
here, I have extra copies for the board if you need
All
them.
right, please. You have it?
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, so as indicated,
That's strange, isn't it?
No, because it came in afterwards, and I think I did these on Thursday, so that was the reason why. I'm sorry that it doesn't update.
I was the last to see, so I have the full pack.
I don't want to hide it from you.
sorry, Mr. Jones, it was not intentional.
Not intentional.
Yeah,
All
as
right,
we
now
know,
we
we
got
have to
over that
approve a
bump.
$500,000 capital investment, exclusive of the building. If you look at the capital investment breakdown, you will see that The equipment alone is up to $257,000. Then we get to lighting, flooring, tile, and packaging, we're up to another $105,000.
And that's spent.
Not all of it's completely been spent yet, no. This is what's projected because the project is still under construction. We don't expect turnover of the project until, correct me if I'm wrong, early December. So then the project will not be completed until February, March of next year, when all the funds will officially have been spent. This is the projected expenditures, and there are invoices, not invoices, but construction contracts associated with all of these that will be presented to the board before the license is issued to show you that, in fact, the funds have been spent.
All right, go ahead.
So I don't know, do you need me to go through this any further?
I have actually looked at it ahead of time. I don't know if my fellow commissioners want you to or not.
I don't need it.
Any questions about the capital expenditures?
What have you actually spent to date?
Can we have the witnesses sworn in and I can let them testify to that?
Swear the witnesses.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief? I do.
Can each of you please state your name and address for the record?
Charles Burton Heiss, 615 F Street Northeast, Washington, D.C. 20002.
Stephen Thornton, 201 12th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C.
Katie Moxley, 1538 Latrobe Park Terrace, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230.
I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Heiss to answer your specific questions about the capital expenditures.
I would have to estimate at this point we have a lot of projects in the pipeline. I will say $500,000 is a fairly low threshold for us. This will be about a $1.6, $1.7 million investment, which is about our average for the restaurants we've built in the area. We've probably to date, I know we've spent the $130,000 in design and engineering. We will have at least put down our deposit on the $230,000 equipment package, so another 100 or so thousand. Some FF&E that's been purchased. I would guess we're probably around 300,000 in, but again, we'll be at 1.6, 1.7.
That does not include the property.
No, that would not include anything with the property. But again,
So what's that total come to answer Commissioner's
what we've
question?
probably spent to date is probably in the neighborhood of $300,000. But by the time we are open, it'll be closer to 1.6, 1.7.
Go ahead, ma'am.
The next, obviously, hurdle that we have to meet is the seating requirement. There's a floor plan included in your package. The seating for this location is 108. There is no bar in this restaurant, and if anybody needs a copy of the floor plan, please let me know. I will be happy to hand
You
that.
actually are a chain restaurant. You have locations in Washington,
Correct. This will be number 21 in the Washington, Baltimore area.
and you're known as a Peruvian restaurant, I believe.
Actually, it's South African chicken, but it's a common misnomer that's Peruvian.
And is this your first venture into Baltimore?
No, we have one on Baltimore Street, West Baltimore Street. It's been open just over about 17 months.
And you've had no problems in Washington?
None.
Any other questions of commissioners? None?
None.
All right,
You don't yet know who the actual operator is going to be? Has that been determined?
Yeah, because the project got delayed when we went on the docket for this and we were not getting the building sooner, we were sort of in limbo, but our current general manager at West Baltimore Street will likely open the Harbor East location and will promote one of the assistants internally. We put all of our managers through alcohol awareness training regardless.
And all of that information I will provide to the board, demographics and everything for the board's record once they are identified.
Well, go ahead, do whatever you're going to do.
All I was going to, the last bit of information that the board's required to consider with this is the alcohol, or the alcohol percentage. I will tell you that Nando's, on average, only does 5% alcohol sales. They are mainly beer and wine. The only liquor they sell is with a sangria that they make. I can tell you for the last year, the location on Baltimore Street was 5.6 was their alcohol sales. So we'll be well within the 51.
So you're mainly a restaurant.
That is correct.
Any other things you want to bring before the board?
I just want to proffer for the board that all the applicants are fit and proper. These are the current applicants for the license over on Baltimore Street. None of their personal information has changed since the application has been filed. No felony convictions or violations of the alcoholic beverage laws or gambling laws.
All right, any other questions of the commissioners?
None.
All right, I vote yes.
Yes.
Thank you all very much. Have a good afternoon.
Call the next case.
This is a hardship extension. Brian Bevan, Morning Edition, Inc., trade name Morning Edition Cafe. This is 153 North Patterson Park Avenue. This is a Class BD7 beer, wine, liquor. Request for a hardship extension under Article 2B, 10-4504D.
Hello. I'm Brian, and this is Gary. Hey, who
All right, you're not a counsel.
No.
All right,
No.
swear the witnesses, please.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury, testimony about to give is true and correct, the best of your knowledge, information, and ability?
Be glad to hear from you, sir. Identify yourself by name.
Brian Bevan.
Beaven.
Correct. Right.
Okay, be glad to hear from you.
And I'm the owner of the Morning Edition Cafe. And I'm asking for an extension on my license. We have a contract that just came in this past week, and they want to settle by November,
Contract for,
both the building and the license.
mhm.
Well, it's a letter of intent, and we should have a contract by Friday, you say?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And so they want to move in by mid-November, so I'm kind of asking for an extension till we get that taken care of.
I have something written on my notes, and I don't know what I mean by
You
it.
wanted to see the contract. I think that's what it was, what you will have.
Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow I have a letter of intent.
Okay, let's present it for an exhibit.
Okay.
You have enough copies for everybody? All right. Yeah. Thought you were- Exhibit 1, pass it over. All right, anything else?
Not.
Do you want to say anything, ma'am?
No, this did very well.
Mm-hmm. You want to say anything else?
I'm good, thank you.
Questions of commissioners?
I have no question.
What is the hardship?
Well, trying to sell the restaurant and the license, yes. We've had a really rough time trying to sell it.
But you've succeeded.
Well, yes.
I mean, you have a contract.
Right, we have a
And
contract
it's supposed to be executed when?
by November, right? Contingent on the transfer of the license.
So you're asking for an extension of hardship for how long?
2 months?
Well, how long does
Yeah.
the process take
The
to
transfer.
transfer it to new ownership?
Ask my executive secretary if she can give an estimate.
I would say that they should probably ask for of at least, ask for 6 months extension, and if it becomes completed before that time, I think that would be, so 180 days extension.
So that would be 6 months from August 3rd.
Okay. That should suffice.
All right. Ready for any other questions? None? I vote yes.
Yes.
I do have a question, though. How long does it take normally to transfer?
It will depend on the information that as the timely submission by the other party. So they need
So it might
to,
take-
they need to submit their information so that we can get it. We have 45 days to turn around a transfer.
Let me say this to you. Don't come back with a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
And we're giving you 6 months.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I know
That's-
this is the end, I know.
Okay. All right. Vote
And
yes.
and for the record, I vote yes. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, thanks.
Take care. Call the next case.
Yes, sir. The next case is Michael Fellner, Pigtown Ale House, this is LLC. This is at 1415 Washington Boulevard, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor, a review of a pending transfer for more than 180 days.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And your name, sir?
Michael Fellner, owner of Pigtown Ale House.
All right, I'd be glad to hear from you. Are you, you're not an Esquire?
No.
Okay, swear the witness, please.
Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury, the testimony you're about to give is true and correct, to the best of your knowledge, information, and ability?
I do.
And your name is Michael Fellner, F-E-L-N-E-R?
Correct.
Okay, and you're the owner of Pigtown Ale House?
Yes.
And what are you asking for?
Hardship extension based upon many variables.
All right, what are
And
they?
I'll try to be brief and go through them, and then if you have any questions or need clarification, please let me know. This was an auction purchase for the property and the liquor license back in July of 2013. But the settlement did not occur until late November, and that was solely based upon the secured creditor judge or the proceedings that weren't anything that I had control of. After settlement...
So November 2013?
Yes, correct. And they always advise you not to start or initiate any work on the building until you actually own the building, so nothing happened.
So you
between
owned it as of
July and
November 2013?
Correct, late November, it was
Okay.
November 23rd, I believe.
Go ahead.
In December, I started talking with the permitting office and discovered that there was basically a gray area in whether I could use the second floor. It was also, at that time, I looked into, in addition, because the kitchen there is really small at the moment, being 12 by 12, about 144 square feet, and I was looking for additional size. In January, I spent working up plans and speaking with people at the permitting office, Martin French, David Tanner, and some of the others. And just to be safe and also to address the addition, I went for a variance hearing. As part of that, you have to post the property for so many days. You have to get your application in, and then you have to wait for time to be on the docket. So if the docket's full, you get bumped to
The
the
docket for what?
variance hearing before the BMZA.
Before the zoning board,
Yes,
is that right?
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because of the use of the second floor.
Correct, as well as I was asking for use to construct an addition and to have outdoor dining
All at
and
one
table
time.
seating, all at one time through
Yeah,
that.
It was all
um,
one request.
Right. So that hearing was February 25th. Again, they recommended, also stipulated that you can't go get a permit until you have the results of that hearing. Those results are stamped April 8th, so then we went to April 8th.
When was their decision?
Their decision was February 25th.
Same day.
Correct, but they advise you that you can't do anything based upon that decision until you have the written confirmation of their decision.
And how long did that take?
That took till April 8th.
So you got, on April 8th, you could go and get a permit.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead, sir. That's 2014.
Correct, yes. Somewhere in that time, I was not advertising the property for sale, but a residential contractor that I knew of indicated that he knew somebody looking for a restaurant. I did get a letter of intent or an email offering to purchase the property. That was in, I believe, April. However, nothing came of that. They never submitted a hard contract with any deposit. So then in May, I had my contractors go to do more work. I pulled a demo permit. In June, my electrician tried to pull a over-the-counter permit, and I have the notes here that I can submit to you from the, maybe you're familiar with the one-stop permit application process, but that is pretty clear in my mind that it sets forth that certain permits are allowed, for instance, for heavy and up electric service without submitting full plans and going through the E-plan
This is a one-stop you
process.
got.
I attempted to.
You did not.
My electrician was turned away and was then told I needed full MEP plans.
So when did you get your permit?
I have a demo permit at this point, and I am working with an
That
architect.
was in May.
Correct.
So you haven't got anything since then?
I've been trying to confirm whether the permit office is correct. I've had phone calls put in but not returned from Councilman Reisinger's office. He's the councilman for my district.
Why
And
would you go to a councilman rather than go down to the city and try to work it out?
that was actually the Neighborhood Association president's encouraging me to do that. He said he had spoke with Councilman Reisinger and that he was awaiting my call. And I called him 3 times, and he never called me back on 3
So
occasions.
what happened next?
So now, I have construction underway under the demo permit. I
When
am
was
waiting
that?
for the
Oh,
architect,
the demo permit. Okay, go ahead.
and I am waiting for the architect to finalize their plans. I do have facade drawings
Who's the
already,
hire- Architect,
CK Design and Development.
when?
We're still working out the details. I met with Ian Sagalowski with Heath,
Let me just ask you a straight question.
Yes, sir.
Have you or have you not hired an architect?
I have a contract that I'm waiting for.
You haven't signed it?
No,
I see. So you have not hired a contract?
no.
Architect?
Right.
Okay.
That process became I got numbers between $6,000 and $10,000, which I really didn't feel compelled to spend unless I was absolutely required to. And so I'd still been seeking clarification from the city and the permit office of, do I need a permit? And I still have the one-stop permit documentation that says if I'm just repairing electric or heavy and up electric service, I don't need a permit. I don't need a lengthy 6 to 8 week permit review process.
Excuse me.
Sure.
You just say you got a demo permit?
Yes.
So what you demoing?
I'm exposing the brick wall on the south side, and I'm removing the drop ceiling and hauling away that waste
So
and
you-
debris.
That's the entire first floor?
That's the first floor.
Are you doing any work on the second floor?
Second floor,
How many floors are there?
it's a 2-story building with a basement
So
that's
you're doing a
unfinished.
total demo.
The demo work is in a limited scope, so the second floor already
You taking the sheet rock out on both floors?
Only exposing the brick on the south wall on the first floor and removing the drop ceiling as well as the old plaster ceiling on the first floor for maybe 9 or 1,200 square foot of space. On the second floor, I've been sealing the existing brick, which was already exposed by our prior owner or occupant.
I'm gonna give you a little advice.
Yes, sir.
I can sit here and tell you what to do, but that's not fair. Go to 417 East Fayette Street, room 101, and ask to speak to Mr. Patel, Patel.
I believe I've met with him, but I
Well,
will.
then he's the man. If he says that's what you need, that's what you need. This councilman, anyone else, not gonna be able to overrule.
After I didn't get any return phone calls, I stopped pursuing that avenue. It was based upon the neighborhood association president, so.
That's good. I'm glad. Where are we now?
If I can get a 180-day extension, I would hope to be able to get open. We are now, I've finalized my decision. I'm going to work with this CK Design and Development Group. He can get me stamped approvals. He can get me MEP drawings. But my understanding is then I will have to submit and wait 6 to 8 weeks for the building permit department to review those plans. And then only after that, so another 2 or 3 months, will I then be able to start any real contract work. I won't be able to move a gas line if I want to relocate my kitchen equipment. I'm kind of stalled by the bureaucracy that exists.
Only because you don't want to follow the bureaucracy that exists. But go ahead.
I have a background in property management. This is my first restaurant I'm trying to open. There's no opposition to my knowledge. I've taken my alcohol awareness class in the time that all this has been going on. I intend to hire locals.
Well, I think my fellow commissioner's response means you've dawdled. You didn't want to pay the architect and so forth. There's been a lot of delays on your own part. But anyway, we'll get back on course again. Let me find out if anybody has any questions.
Sure.
Questions, Commissioner?
I have absolutely none.
I have no questions.
Or anything else you wish to say?
I hope you support that
All right, I
I'm
vote
trying to.
yes, 180 days.
Now a day more, 180 days.
You heard that, didn't you?
I hope it's possible.
Commissioner Moore?
I vote yes.
Thank you.
All right, you have the answer, sir.
Thank you very
180
much.
days. All right, call the next case.
Sir.
Did she say something?
She was just making sure we went to the next thing.
Oh.
Brett Austin. Brett Austin, Joshua Fody. This is 18 Cross Street, LLC, trade name Crossbar. 1218 East Cross Street. This is Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. Review of this is a hardship extension. Not review of a transfer. Review of a transfer pending more than 180 days, hardship extension.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. My name is Joseph Wolman. I'm the attorney representing the licensees. One of the licensees, Mr. Josh Fody, is here seated in the back. Our development and neighborhood consultant, Peter Auchincloss, who's been working with us since September of 2013, is also seated in the back. Should you
Are
have
you
questions.
going to present testimony?
I don't plan to, no, Your Honor.
All right, I'd be glad to hear from you.
Thank you. There's my-
Who's the licensee? Who's the licensee? Can
Josh
the licensee
Fody.
come forward,
Sure.
please? I'd like to know who it is.
Sure.
You're the licensee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'd be glad to hear from you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I submitted a memorandum, I think found its way to the file last week, last Thursday, highlighting the reasons for the 180-day hardship extension, which is what we are requesting. The license for this establishment and the transfer and expansion of that license was approved on February 20th of this year. Subsequently, there was an appeal of that taken to circuit court. I think this board is aware of that appeal. Nevertheless, we did receive a letter, and it's Exhibit 3, I believe, in the memorandum. Let's make sure. Actually, Exhibit 2 in my memorandum was a letter from the board indicating that we needed to appear before this board today at 11 o'clock a.m. Pursuant to Rule 10503D4, a transfer of any license shall be completed within 180 days. We obviously have not completed the transfer, and there are 2 reasons highlighted in my memo, and I'll highlight them again here for you today. And those reasons are the appeal that I already have mentioned. The license approval was appealed by one of the neighborhood organizations in the district to circuit court.
Obviously, it is difficult to open a business when your license to do so is tied up in litigation, but even more particular than that, there has been undue delays caused by various agencies within Baltimore City regarding the release of our building permit. It is my hope, and I have not confirmed this yet, that we finally got our building permit yesterday afternoon. But I also included in my memorandum, I won't go into the detail now in order to save time, of the various delays that Baltimore City and its various reviewing agencies caused regarding the issuance of the building permit. Obviously, it's impossible for us to operate and open the business without the building itself. So very succinctly at this point, Your Honor, I would submit that given those two justifications, if you will, both the appeal to circuit court, which obviously was not our doing, the delay in the issuance of this building permit, which is obviously not our doing, we've not been able to open the business for which we received the approval on February 20th, 2014.
Now, have you been in contact with the community?
We have had contact with the community for over 10 months. Over 10 months at this point, Your Honor. Negotiations with the one remaining group that continues to oppose this business eventually broke down after, again, 10 months
So
of
what you
negotiations.
say you have contact with the community, but one broke down. What did not break down?
What did not break down was the South Baltimore Neighborhood Association within whose boundaries this business lies, and with whom we executed a memorandum of understanding that was submitted to the board on February 20th, 2014, with various concessions on our part regarding the operation of the business, hours, design, a myriad of issues that we, again, spent 10 months with Mr. Auchincloss at the helm negotiating with these various community groups. We also met
Now, what
with...
was the result of that?
The result of that was a memorandum of understanding in full support of the application for transfer. I believe that went a long way to convincing this board to approve the transfer on February 20th.
All right, that was the South Baltimore Business Association.
That was actually South Baltimore Neighborhood Association.
Neighborhood Association.
We
All right.
also met with other associations in the area, as Your Honor is probably well aware. As is typical for Baltimore City, there are numerous organizations within the same area. We met with all of them. The South Baltimore...
Tell me which ones approved, which ones didn't approve.
All of them approved except for Federal Hill Neighborhood Association. I believe there are representatives from that association that you're going to hear from today.
Federal Hill opposed.
Federal Hill Neighborhood Association opposed.
And you met with them?
Oh, on numerous occasions. If you want to hear from Mr. Auchincloss regarding the details as to those, I'm sure he'd be happy to.
You present your own case, sir.
Very well.
All right, anything else?
At this point, no.
All right, questions, Commissioners, of the attorney? None? All right. I'll be glad to hear from you, sir. Swear the witnesses.
All those here to testify, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief.
I do.
Your name, sir?
My name is Paul W. Robinson. I'm the former president of the Federal Hill Neighborhood Association, the founder of Friends of Federal Hill Park, and I've been, I suppose, a somewhat reluctant, zealous community activist for nearly 20 years now. So I've got a pretty good perspective on everything that council said.
You're talking on behalf of the Federal Hill Association.
Well, I'm not. I want to make it clear that I am not. I'm talking on behalf of, number one, myself as a resident of the neighborhood.
Are you the one who wrote the letter?
I wrote a letter. Yes, I did, sir.
This letter?
No, no, sir.
That's your letter.
No, that's Rose McKee.
Somebody else's letter.
I did write a letter. Yes, sir.
Okay. It's not that letter. Go ahead.
No, and I am a member.
I haven't seen your letter, so go ahead.
Okay, I am a member of the group of 21 appellants who took the February 20th ruling to the circuit court for judicial review.
Okay, now what is your opposition?
Well, I think that there are several...
This is a request for an extension.
Hardship extension. I think that there are several issues here, but in the interest of time, I would simply say that it would appear, at least from our perspective, that the licensees should not be permitted a hardship extension because all indications are that it was not requested within the 100-day, 80-day period required under Article 2B, Section 10-504D. Now, under that provision, as you well know, and the commissioners well know, the 180-day period begins when a business is closed, which in this case, and in the case of this license, there's evidence to suggest that it was closed on or about September 1st, 2009, when it was operating at 12 East Cross Street as Billabong, a bar.
Your Honor, at this juncture, I'd like to object for the record as to relevancy if we're going to go back to 2009. The board's letter, Exhibit 2 in my memorandum, clearly states the reason we're here today is for a 180-day hardship extension of the board's approval dated February 20th, 2014. We've outlined the two justifications, which I believe each on their own justify the reason for that extension. Any opposition to this request should focus on that extension that the board has requested us to be here for today.
Well, we allow almost everything.
I understand, Your Honor. I want to be on the record. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. The fact of the matter is that I'll
But
concede.
I would say we like to get to the point.
Yeah, well,
Who appealed it to the circuit court?
A group of, the Federal Hill Neighborhood Association was a co-appellant.
Your old group
That's correct.
appealed it.
That's correct.
Well, nothing could happen then, right? The case is under appeal. He couldn't do anything. When was the appeal filed?
Shortly after the February 20th ruling from the Liquor Board.
February 20.
Thereabouts.
All right, now what was the status of the bar at that time?
Closed.
And how long had it been closed?
Since on or about September 1st, 2009.
And that is the basis of the appeal?
Well, I don't know that the February 20th ruling was actually anything more than a ruling on the validity. The license had already been issued. So the suggestion, the argument that this was based on the license being issued on February 20th is somewhat confusing, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not here to interpret the law.
Yeah, well, but on February 20th, your statement is the bar was already closed.
That's
Did
correct.
somebody open it between 2009?
No, sir.
And did the former liquor board rule on the validity of the license at any time after that?
On February 20th, the
And
former
what did the liquor
board,
board say?
they ruled, based on an estoppel argument, that the license was valid, or I think the term was viable.
What does that mean?
I
think you'd have to ask, maybe Commissioner Jones would know.
Commissioner Jones has no idea. That case is so long ago, sir.
Okay. And then the appeal. Now, what's happened to the appeal?
Chairman, the appeal will be coming, this is being remanded to you. This item will also come back to you on September 25th of this month. So at the end of the month, you will have a separate item on the appeal issue regarding the case that they're speaking about. So there are two separate issues.
So what happened? Did you just got it sent back? Did you win at the appeal? Do you know what happened?
It's remanded to you to make a decision on the issue of
Validity of the license?
Correct. That's what you'll.
Not hard to figure that one out.
Well, it was an agreement, a stipulation that was by mutual agreement of liquor boards.
Your Honor, but the liquor board's attorney and the neighborhood association, which would obviously take exception to.
Were you present?
No, not present nor communicated with, nor copied on any pleadings.
What about that?
Well, Your Honor, again, I'm not an
You're
attorney.
not an attorney.
I was not party to the negotiations. Certainly, our attorneys would be in a position to explain to you, and certainly I would appeal or assume that Ms. Pinderhughes would be in a position to explain to you what the stipulation was all about and why she recommended we enter into it. But
Ms. Pinderhughes is busy telling me that since I became chairman of the liquor board, there are too many appeals.
I can't speak to that either, Your Honor. I understand. I understand.
Okay.
I would also point out.
But why are you opposed? For some reason or other, he got past all that, and he came and he's ready to do his work, and he can't do it because he just got it yesterday, the permit.
We actually were hoping that you could stay the hardship. My name is Brooke McDonald, I live at 222 East Montgomery Street. I'm a part of the residential group that has opposed this. We were hoping that this hardship hearing could be postponed, could be stayed. I'm not a lawyer either.
The whole thing taken up at one time.
Yeah, and you know what? We've spent a lot of time as a community coming in here and speaking. We're not a minority, as Mr. Woolman suggests, well, not suggests, as he says in his letter. It's a large group of people in our community are very, very concerned about the number of bars in our community and the expansion of the number of bar seats in our community, which has been for the last 10 years.
Well, there's no doubt about that, but let's see, Cross Street is, between 18 East Cross is between Charles and Light. And the Federal Hill communities, some blocks.
No, our community association covers Cross Street. Our southernmost boundary is Cross Street. So there's some real misunderstandings about which community association governs this.
Well, Federal Hills is north of Cross Street.
Your Honor, may I?
Yeah.
Since I can provide you with some perspective, actually, if you'd like, as an exhibit into evidence, this is a map of the boundaries of the Federal Hill Neighborhood Association, which in fact has been in existence since 1985.
Whatever it is. I'm just noting where the Federal Hill community is and where
Right.
Cross Street is. They're somewhat far apart in a sense. And,
Oh, no, sir.
No,
It's
sir.
the heart of Federal Hill.
well, I know it intimately, to be honest with you.
If I may,
Excuse me, can the audience please be quiet?
if I may, Mr. Chairman, the boundaries of, oh, darn it, the boundaries of these two neighborhood associations have been in dispute for quite some time. And the fact of the matter is that it's me, yes it is, and I apologize. I don't think I can do much with it.
Just take them over and turn it off, that's all.
Okay, I apologize, I thought I did.
All right, here's an exhibit, pass it over. I know where it is.
The fact of the matter is that the agreement, there was a tacit agreement made during my tenure as FHNA president, Mr. Chairman, whereas the then referred to the South Baltimore Improvement Committee would take the block of Cross south of the market under its boundaries and the block north side of the market.
Mr. Robinson, let me stop you on boundaries of the
Sure.
association. I want to ask Mr. Woolman if he has any questions.
I don't have any questions regarding the boundary issue.
No, skip the boundaries. Do you have any questions of this gentleman?
I don't at this juncture, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, did you have anything else you wish to say?
No, it's just that we were really hoping that we could address it all at the same time.
You want to
In terms of asking for
put
the
together?
stay.
All right, commissioners' questions.
I have no questions to them.
Well, I have to say that it makes some sense to put it all together.
Your Honor, can I speak to that issue?
Yeah.
I received word 2 days ago of this motion for stay. I'm not sure or clear as to what rule a stay would apply, and the circuit court, as you're well aware, has rules regarding stays. The zoning code and the zoning board has rules regarding stays. There are no such rules within the liquor code. But when I received notice, again, due to the courtesy of your executive secretary, again, I've never been copied on any pleadings or any filings or anything throughout the case.
Well, get to the issue, though.
The issue is this request for stay, and my first reaction was, and I communicated this to your executive secretary, was, well, in my humble opinion, I believe we've been very reasonable throughout this entire history, and to be reasonable, perhaps we should just notify the board that we're not opposed to this motion for stay, and we'll all come back on the 25th. But then I thought to myself, why should we do that? We received a direction from this board, a mandate from this board under your rules to be here today to request in the ordinary course the 180-day extension from the February 20th 2014 hearing. It is a very limited scope issue that is before you, in my opinion.
No, Mr. Woolman, just like you pointed out, we have much broader jurisdiction than the others. And thank goodness we're not burdened by a huge, massive list of regulations.
Understood.
I decide the regulations, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It seems to me that, and I'm just guessing, it seems to me that somehow or other you got past the board on your license. I don't know how or why. I've got to find out. I've got to find out what happened. And then you did what you're supposed to do to try to open. Meanwhile, they appeal it, and the circuit court, it has questions. And of course, that's what I did for 24 years. And they sent it back to the liquor board. In other words, they got rid of it. And they sent it for somebody else to decide it. And I never did that when I had motions for 14 terms up there, and I decided everything. But
we would have liked to have had our day up there as well. Your Honor.
and I think we should have decided up there, but I'm not going to criticize them. They know things that I don't know. So I'm going to vote that we consolidate, and we put it down for hearing when we can hear all of it at one time to find out what's happened. Otherwise,
Again, we certainly don't have, take a huge issue with that, other than the fact that we felt this was one issue we could get off the table today on the date that you asked us to come in. We figured we could take care of that issue today and leave the 25th for the much larger issue, which is the validity of the license.
So therefore, that's the way I vote.
I agree that we should consolidate the two cases. It doesn't take much to grant a 180-day extension, so let us look at all the facts and make good, sound decisions. I agree, consolidate.
I agree as well.
Thank you.
All right, you have our decision. We consolidate. And then we'll give you a new date. Do we have a date?
Yes, it will be the 25th
25th
It's
of,
already said.
of September.
25th of September.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Call the next case.
This is Ronald Singer, RHT, The Red House Tavern, 2239 Essex Street. This is a Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor. A request to reopen after being closed more than 90 days.
All right, sir. Glad to hear. Who are you?
Ronald Michael Singer, owner of RHT Incorporated.
And you're an owner, not a esquire. You're not a lawyer.
That's correct.
All right, swear the witness, please.
Sir, do you swear or affirm the penalties of perjury, testimony you're about to give is true and correct, to the best of your knowledge and information?
I do.
All right, your name for the record is Ronald Singer.
That's correct,
And
sir.
you are the owner of the license.
That's correct, sir.
And you're requesting 90 days or what? I'm not sure what you're requesting.
We were doing remodeling. We tried to reopen, and at the 91st day I went for the license. They said I missed it by a day.
So you had how many days before?
Well, we closed for remodeling reasons
When?
March 30th of 2014.
Is that right?
I think,
April
oh, April 30th.
April 30th.
April 30th.
According to your level, April 30th.
Oh, yes,
2014.
I'm sorry, April 30th.
And
Right before the renewal of the license.
and then when did they tell you were 1 day late?
When I went in on August.
Got the-
We received it August the 5th, so he was a few days late as of
Yeah,
August the 5th.
by the time I read the
August
license.
5th, request what?
To
For what?
reopen.
Just to pick up my license.
To reopen because he was closed doing some remodeling. So this would be a request the board would have to grant him a reopening.
So he was closed for how many days?
About 120, yeah. Right now, it's been 120 because of getting it on the agenda.
Why
but
was he, in other words, why was he denied when he tried to open on the 5th?
because it was after the 90th day.
Oh, he had only asked for 90.
Yeah, he was closed for 90 days. He was closed for 95 days when he came in.
I
And
see.
so now he has to go to the board and say, can I reopen again? And
Are you ready?
he's ready to reopen.
Okay, you ready to reopen, sir?
Since it'll take me about 3-4 weeks to do the final.
So how much
touches.
time are you asking for?
90 days, 30 days, and 30 is close.
Yeah, you have
60
to-
days.
You have to be careful and tell me exactly what you
90
need
days,
to
sir.
reopen. You're asking for 90 days?
Yes, sir.
Are any questions of commissioners?
I'm sorry, and the final things that you are doing is what?
One of my well, we had to repair the drywall on the second floor where a contractor hit a pipe and 3 days later it all fell. It's just cosmetics at this point.
And you need 90 days for that?
I'm afraid that, well, I have to bring back a health department. I'm still, because we closed, we have to bring back the health department to approve everything. you know, so I just want to make sure I have enough time for that.
Okay.
I would love to get it open way before that.
All right, thank you.
And your RHT Inc., is that,
That is the corporate,
okay, and you're gonna do what you need to do to get that in good standing?
yes,
Okay, and when will you be doing that?
before the 90, before the 90 days, before everything's reissued.
All right, I vote yes, 90 days.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, sir, you have our decision.
All right, thank you all.
All right, and that,
Yeah, Chairman, I have one item that I would like to add to the agenda because the people were mailed, and it's not on your agenda, but I have a copy for you right here. It's right on top. Okay. It's in regards to, it's a transfer of ownership. It's for Kamal Tour and Brenda Pence. This is 2839 Annapolis Road. The attorney is here, and they brought their information. I have to the copy of the information. Yeah, you don't have it in the copy. Oh, you don't, you should need a copy. No, I don't have a copy. This is right here. It's it's right on the top, sorry. You don't have it on your docket. It was sent out, and it was sent out.
what's this business that starts at 1 o'clock here?
It's not, it actually, I'm moving it to the 11 o'clock because it's the transfer.
And which one is it?
This is the one for Kamal Tour and Brenda Pence, AJK. Hollingsworth Lounge, and here's
And what's the request?
it's right in
It's
front of
just
you.
a straight-up transfer.
It's a transfer of ownership and
There's no protest.
All right, state your name, please.
For the record, Gary Maslin, 75A Eastern Avenue, Maslin and Rothwell, on behalf of the applicants. John, please, this is a request.
You going to have any testimony?
I could, if I could proffer it, Judge.
Is there any opposition?
No, there's none whatsoever.
Go ahead, sir.
This is a request for transfer of the Hollingswood Inn. It's on Baltimore and Annapolis Boulevard. There's no real community association around there. It's an isolated brick building that sits down there. The old community association disbanded. They did reach out to the neighbors. There's a letter of support from one of the direct neighbors. The current licensee is staying on the license to assist in any way she can. The other applicant has had many years' experience in the sale of alcoholic beverages in the Dundalk area. She worked in Dundalk Liquors.
What's the neighborhood community past you? We're going further down Annapolis
I
Road.
believe it was the Westport and Mount
Westport.
Winans.
Trying to think of Westport.
There's a letter of appreciation they sent to the inn in the past. But that association, I believe, no longer is functioning. Is that correct? No. They tried to reach out.
Okay.
So it's just, they're buying the building and they're taking over the business, and they're
Exhibits 1 and 2.
hoping to make a success of it. They're fit and proper people to have licenses, and there's no problem with parking. There's a parking lot right there. It's a freestanding building by itself.
I see the railroad is not going to have, if that's not too far from you, with the big A-yard Mount Clair, where they were going to build a huge loading facility in near you, not too far from you. Is that correct?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
You know what he's talking about? You've
Yeah,
been there
and
10
they
years.
scrapped it, I saw it in the.
Well, go down Annapolis Road in the opposite direction towards the city.
Huh.
And
Okay.
you know what it was in the paper.
It was in the paper, yes.
Multi-million dollar. I used to work at A-yard Mount Clair as a yard clerk, so I know where it is. All right, sir, any questions?
Very well by Baltimore Brew.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, they actually did a
No kidding.
pretty good job.
I'll have to see if they're accurate. Any questions, commissioners?
None.
I vote yes.
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 You have our
Thank you.
decision, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Judge.
we'll stand in adjournment
We're adjourned. Thank you, sir.
to 1 o'clock.
Accommodating the people.
You need to put your hands.
No, you have to write a check.
Adjourned.